This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. What's going on, everybody? Thank you. Welcome to the show. We are glad to be here. Thanks for patiently waiting. One of the only podcasts that starts on time, 5 minutes late. But if you're here, we appreciate you. I've got some new lights behind me, courtesy of Game Seeker. A friend of mine sent me two of these Govee bulbs, and I got them all set up and colored, I guess, so to kind of match the, do the whole thing. So I could be like Mag, but I appreciate him and all of his support. This is episode 190. We're live on YouTube. If you're here and you're enjoying everything, hit the like button. Just hit the thumbs up, or one of the like button or the thumbs up. But I'm really happy to be here with Mag. Mag.
Yes, sir.
How are you today? Or I should say Patrick Wilson and Ben Kingsley. Live yet again.
Excuse me, that's Sir Ben Kingsley to you.
Sir.
I wasn't knighted for you to just call me Ben, all right? So I had to get down there. They put the sword on the head, on the shoulders, the whole 9 yards. But well-deserved, obviously, for all my accolades and all my performances over the years. Anyways, we were only 4 minutes late. I'd like to correct you on that one.
Oh, thank
you.
Yeah.
Let's all calm down. And we're not like Randall Snore, who wakes up in the middle of a nap and shows up 17 minutes late for his own podcast. That's a whole other story. You know how it goes.
Yep.
But anyways, hi, Rand. How you doing, buddy? It's been a long time. Don't be shy to like reach out and say hello once in a while, scumbag, or even come in the chat. God forbid. Anyways.
Yeah,
I'm doing wonderful. I was right. I was up north this weekend, so I was up where it was minus. Oh man, I was way up north. It was minus 26, and the
Celsius
snow,
people
Celsius, yeah. So it was pretty serious.
Is that like minus 60 in Fahrenheit or something like that?
Well, I'll tell you right now.
I think it is.
Anyways, yeah, and it was and then minus 26 Celsius, and then you'll see how fast it. Come on, internet, work. Anyways, while it's working, I don't know what the hell happened to the internet. Oh, it canceled out. Anyways, the snow in the back, we're like, hey, we'll go skating on the pond or whatever else. Or not the pond, excuse me, the lake. We'll go out there. We saw some ice fishers out there and all kinds of stuff, right? And we went to open the back door, and the snow was 8 feet deep because of the snow drift off of the lake. So it just kept accumulating. Like on top of the fact that we got a lot of snow anyway, the snow drift kept pushing it up, and it kept pushing it up, and we were literally, it was the snow was up past the raised deck, and it was like 8 feet deep. There's no way.
Were you there against your will, or did you go? Was this like a little vacation outing?
No. It was just a weekend away with the just like 2 nights with the boys, and we were doing because we hadn't got together for my birthday, for my 50th. So that's what we did, right? So we were like, okay, well, let's do 2 nights and have like a 2-night bender and have a big old party and whatever else. And then that's what we did. So, by the way, it's minus 15 Fahrenheit for all you Americans out there. So minus 15 Fahrenheit.
60.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's 26.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was ridiculous. But anyways.
Goes the other way.
Got some interesting gaming done while I was up there because I was just, hanging around, farting around.
Yeah, it's a gaming podcast. What the heck have you been playing?
It is. Well, I mean, I kind of not finished Final Fantasy, so I haven't even got to Avowed yet. I'm still halfway through, or just above that, and It Takes Two that I'm playing with my son. I didn't play last week because I was too busy last week to do Space Marine, so I had to put that on hold on top of everything else. And then I turned on such a random backlog game, Biomutant. Do you ever play this game or ever heard of this game by THQ?
Bro, I love that little underrated. It's such a cool game. Tell me what you think.
It is so cute and so interesting. And like these weird biomutant, like, I don't know what it is. It looks like a ferret mixed with like one of my Sphinx cats mixed with. You're like
Master Shifu from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, basically, yeah, like that. It was really weird, but I played like the opening, whatever, like the prologue and all that stuff, and then just kind of got into it. And then it's really, really strange, but it's interesting. It's like a post-apocalyptic,
it's good, bro.
Like Overlord, mutated animals and whatever. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Overlord in the chat says I love Biomutant. I did too. It's I think that game got like a 68 or 72.
Really?
Like, it didn't get a very good score, but I couldn't stop playing it because you have melee, you have guns, and you have magic, and you do them all according to what buttons you're pushing, like on the face buttons. But you can kind of set up your build. You create your character, like be how tall or fat or whatever. But it just has a really cool system, and it was really
cool.
enjoyable to play. And people,
that's what I heard too.
People that played it loved it. People that didn't play it said it was trash. Anyway, yeah,
it's usually how it goes.
Know. Yeah, usually.
So I just started playing that. So I was just like, oh, that's cute. So I got like 5 games on the go here, and I'm just trying to wrap up all 5 of them so I could just go, oh my God, please let me just, you know what I mean, get into something new, because in the next month we've got, you know, a couple of new games coming out. So I want to make sure that this is all cleared out and dealt with, and you know what I mean, and play with. I know it sounds like a chore. It's like, oh my God, I need to roll credits.
I have to have fun.
And then like I have to take this out and this and that. But like the problem is, when you get to a point in your life like the way we are and whatever else, there's just not enough time.
Yeah.
You can't no life games anymore. Like when you've got family, kids, houses, mortgages, cars, jobs, careers, phone calls, like it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't stop. It's like, how can you like no life a game for like 8 hours a day? It's impossible. And then sometimes when you do have some free time, you're so effing tired that by the time you're done, like I can game 2 hours and that's it. I have to tap out and go to bed, because then I got to get up and do all that crap all over again.
9 or 10 o'clock, I'm dying. But if I can get past that, push into that second wind, then I'm up for like 3 hours. I finished.
I was gonna say, what are you playing?
I finished Sniper Elite Resistance, which is on Game Pass, and it's not as good as 5. 5's really good. Like, you should go back and play it. But I mean, if you have Game Pass, I think you should play it. But you play as like this Jason Statham sound alike with messy hair. He looks like a dork in the game. But yeah, it was just enjoyable. I just kind of cranked through it in like 15 or 20 hours. Did a lot of the content, like hardly knocked any achievements. I think I got like 15 achievements in the whole time through my campaign, because I just didn't try to do everything. But that was a pretty cool game. And I've been playing Enshrouded on PC, which is, you know, like that grown-up grounded game. And I got my son kind of interested in it, so I Steam gifted it to him. So we'll be playing that. And then been just kind of looking at games moving forward, because I should be able to play Assassin's Creed Shadows soon. But I put up a poll on Twitter yesterday, Mag, and 52% are like, nope. And I know how you are as far as wait and see, but
when it comes to Ubisoft, you know my mantra. My mantra is wait 1 year, get it on sale. That's when you get Ubisoft at its best. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. They're talented developers. They need that 1 year and a price drop, and then I'm good.
Just about everybody needs that extra year, it seems like.
Well, Western developers, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Everybody
you can get it for $20. You can get the Ultimate Edition for $20 for 1 month and play it that way on Ubisoft Plus. But not a lot of people are like, let me just add another.
Only PC, isn't it?
No, it's on console as well, I think. Yeah.
Ubisoft Plus on console.
I think so. Yeah. It came to Xbox and PlayStation like a year ago, I think. Yeah,
what?
but I don't. I mean, it's just another subscription service. So that's kind of what I've been playing and enjoying that a little bit. Messing around. I was playing Grand Theft Auto Online, Red Dead Redemption 2, some other stuff, just kind of in the interim. I messed around with Monster Hunter Wilds, guys. I finally, I'm not into this thing, but like I built a character and I played the opening part and started fighting the first monster, and I'm like, and I got to go do something else. I don't know if I'll go back to it, but people who love those like really love them, and it's really highly rated. So I'll see if I can figure out what the allure is there. I don't know. You're not interested in Monster Hunter?
You know, the funny thing is that when it comes to Capcom, I'm a huge simp for Capcom. I love those guys. Like basically everything they do is just top notch. But for whatever reason, I just can't get into the Monster Hunter games. I tried. I played Monster Hunter Worlds. I think World. Was that the one that was on Game Pass a couple years ago, like 3 years ago or whatever it was, 2-3 years ago? There was one of them that was on Game Pass, and I was like, oh, it's right there. Let me give it a shot. And I put a solid like 3-4 hours into it, and it just didn't do it for me. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not. I mean, I get it, but it's just not connecting with me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I just like, whatever. I just kind of let it go. So yeah, I walked away from it. And I'm like, that's a shame. It might be one of the only Capcom games that I just not get into. And I know a lot of people out there, there's a lot of hype for it and whatever else. However, there is something to be said about this Monster Hunter situation. So it's getting, no pun intended, monster scores out there. I mean, it's getting like 89, 90 Metacritics and stuff, right? And a lot of the critics are talking Game of the Year already, whatever, or at least the nomination. However, the user scores on PC is like 50. So it's what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So apparently there's like some really there's like the translation. I was going to say translation. The
optimization.
What the hell is it called?
Optimization. Optimization.
Yeah, optimization. The PC version of the game is not doing well.
Oh, the port.
Apparently the port is not doing well. Like a lot of bugs.
Port was the word you were looking for?
Yeah, it was the port. It was the word I was looking for. Jesus Christ. Mind you, it was a wild weekend. Anyways, so the port of the game. Oh, it was crazy. So you know what I mean? The port of the game apparently is having a lot of technical issues, a lot of glitches, a lot of problems, a lot of freezes, frame drops. Visual quality's not quite there, this and that. So apparently there are a lot of issues with the games. Excuse me.
It's super ugly on performance mode on console.
Is it really? Yeah. That was another thing I heard. It doesn't look good.
I almost did the Dragon's Dogma 2 thing and said, let's just play this thing at 30 so it looks a little nicer, but I can't stand doing that when I have the choice. But I left it in performance mode, and sometimes I would oh gosh, this game's just nasty looking. It looks like it looks like oatmeal barf. Like half the time. And I'm sure people are like, oh man, are you kidding me? The graphics are gorgeous. Graphics are beautiful, but it just has so many visual compromises on console. And I hear, like you said, the PC port is pretty bad as well. So,
yeah, so it's funny how it's getting like these 89, 90s on the Metacritic side. And they're like, oh, it's a fantastic game. It's the game of the year. And then we're hearing from the actual players like, this is it's not a testament to the quality of the game. It's just the technical aspects of it are just, for whatever reason, are just not connecting, which is very unusual, because what I got to tell you, it's very unusual for the Eastern developers. When you get a lot of these, like the Koreans, the Japanese, even the Chinese now, jump out, throwing their hat in the ring. Their games come out polished and done.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very rare do you have many issues with a lot of the Eastern developer games. They come out ready. Right. And to see this is very reminiscent of like a Ubisoft or an EA or, even Microsoft games like Redfall and whatever else. Like, it just seems like some of those games, you know what I mean? Days Gone, when it first came out on PS4, just technical glitches, like crazy. So like you would expect it, like we expect it from a lot of these Western developers, but to see that come out of Capcom, extremely rare. Like, for example, let me give another example. When was the last time you saw a Resident Evil game come out with even the tiniest bug in it?
Well, that was what I was going to say. It's RE Engine, which is what Resident Evil is, but those games are typically always polished.
Always. Like day one, they come out just flawless. Right?
I don't know, because
it's funny that sorry.
Yeah, Monster Hunter has got 90 Metacritic, all over it right now, and it's maybe there's some nitpicky things going on, but I don't know. I can enjoy a game if it looks nasty, whatever. That's fine. But Monster Hunter isn't our jam. And like a good, friend or a good gaming fan, if you don't really like a game, you don't really bring it up very often. And bringing up things that really upset people sometimes. I saw a content creator complaining about this whole Activision Blizzard and Xbox multi-platform approach. And you and I, Mag, we're not the best, but I think we've done a pretty good job of being reasonable when it comes to being reasonable when it comes to the multi-platform thing, kind of looking at, what's changing, what's inevitable, what can we change, what can't we change. And this content creator was complaining about so-called content creators or journalists who are astroturfing. And I had to look this up, and it means that you're being paid secretly by Microsoft to keep the fans satiated with the bad news, like, oh, it's going to be okay, and soften the blow of what's going on with Xbox, which is absolutely ridiculous and asinine. But this whole idea that that Microsoft reaches out to content creators, says, this is what we're going to do soon. We're going to put games on PlayStation. Can you soften the blow for the fans? Which is absolutely ludicrous, because last year, a year ago, when we started to hear rumors before Microsoft and Xbox were doing anything, you and I in chats or on this show, we were talking about what could be. And what you do is you talk about the good and the bad of it. So anyway, this person is just complaining that people are like, oh, everything Xbox does is amazing. Now their games are everywhere, and that's a good thing. And There are some content creators, Mag, that say exclusives are anti-consumer. I don't believe that. I may have said something to the fact of like back in 2016, but I never really truly believed, and I even explained it in old videos, that if you have to buy a PlayStation to play their games, that's supposed to be by definition anti-consumer. I really don't believe that. I also don't think it's, I think if anything, Xbox is more pro-consumer than anything at the cost of bragging rights. But I don't know, Mag, that whole conversation about, let me guide this in the right direction so you and I could talk about it, that this person is angry that Xbox content creators, prominent ones who have a voice, that I won't mention because I respect all of them, and I agree with them too. I agree with those content creators, that they have taken what is happening with Xbox, Mag, and they've said, you know what, this is good because, this is okay because, or this is where Xbox is going, and this is how it benefits us as gaming fans. And this negative content creator was saying that we're just towing the line and following what Xbox says. But you and I have never sat here, Mag, and whined and complained and cried and begged and pleaded to the board that Xbox could please just make all your games only on console. Just trust us. You know, I ran a hot dog stand in the 90s. Come on, trust us. I'm sorry, I've ranted, but I don't know. What's your opinion on this? Because you've been really super level-headed, even more than me.
There are a lot of people that do toe. Now the thing is, when it comes to getting paid by somebody, no, I think that there's an indirect way that happens through YouTube. If you have followers and whatever else, and people that will super chat you and all that kind of stuff, in a certain way, I could see that in that respect. What anybody's talking about would be that, yeah, you're getting paid through your YouTube and whatever else for saying X, Y, and Z, hoping that not hoping. Hoping that the audience that you have will agree with your XYZ, so you kind of like tailor it towards them. It's funny how some people say that about me, which is completely insanely ludicrous. Some that Astro whatever guy always clips me whenever I'm on Crossfire, right, with Mooch. And I don't know. I can't remember what the hell I was talking. Oh yeah, I was talking about how executives don't care about the gamers and this and that. They really don't care about console wars and this and that, whatever.
Okay.
And so some guy in the chat, as I looked, and I'm like, oh, there's this guy again. Report him for harassment because he keeps doing that and he keeps tagging me. So anyways, I do that, and then there's a guy in comment goes, oh, Meg's the chameleon of the gaming world. He's like, he just changes his voice for whatever podcast he's on. No, I'm not. I say the exact same stuff I say here that I do there, and I say the same stuff I say there that I say here. Of course, if you ask me the question, I will answer you. But like, it's sometimes like, well, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. But I'm like, well, if he didn't ask me, why would I say anything? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we try to keep it on topic of whatever we're talking about. So, like, people are stupid. I understand that. Trust me. Like George Carlin said, very few winners, whole lot of losers when it comes to this world.
Yeah.
But anyways, in regards to stuff like this, absolutely there are people who toe the line on everything that the Microsoft, not Xbox, Microsoft executives say. Sure, of course there's going to be people that do that. There's also going to be people that do that with Sony, with Nintendo, with whatever, with anything in the world, politics. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever the subject is. Could be religion, politics, could be video games, could be sports, could be this, could be that. There are absolutely people who will do that. I will not. I never have. At the risk of like people trying to chase me off YouTube last year because of all the stuff that I was telling you that all came true.
Yeah.
Every last word. You know what I mean? So like you look at things like that, and like look at Fable. I told everybody 1,000 times. We're gonna get into that later.
Yeah, you did.
I told everybody 1,000 times that Fable is not coming in 2025, and I did not budge. And I knew it wasn't coming in 2025, and they knew it. You think that they discovered this 4 days ago or 5 days ago? They're like, oh, by the way, we better delay this. They knew last year that it wasn't coming in 2025. Well, not all the way last year. It was like in late 2024. They already knew it wasn't coming out. Therefore, I knew it wasn't coming out. They know, I know. So, anyways, the point is, there are people that absolutely are like that.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. And then what they keep doing is they keep shifting and shifting and shifting and shifting. As, for example, this generation, we've watched this evolution or de-evolution of what Xbox has become, what it started as and what it ended as. And every time they change business direction, so do the people that are with the talking points. So there's no lie there, because I do watch it, and they say, well, the people say, oh, well, this is where the industry's going. No, that's where Microsoft's going. No one else is going there. Or they're this and that. Exclusives are great, then exclusives are bad.
Well,
then exclusives are this, and then
and everyone always
it's like,
everyone always says that,
like,
they have to be specific, right? That PlayStation's not doing what Xbox is doing. They are, but not in the same way whatsoever. I think what happened here was the people that complain about this, like this content creator that was complaining about this, I think what they really wanted and were hoping was that all Xbox content creators, let's say it's just me. Let's say, and I don't think this person's talking about me. They're talking about other people more than me, probably. Because you and I have been on here every week being, explaining about what we do and don't like and looking into the future. Because we're just consumers, right? And the people, and all of you are awesome that are watching the show, like, you're just looking forward to games. You want to make sure that you get the same access to the games the way that you want. And that's the most important thing. That hasn't changed for Xbox, right? So I think what this person wanted that was arguing about this and accusing other people of astroturfing was they wanted these prominent content creators, let's say like a Colteastwood that has a couple hundred people that watch him, right? They wanted me to sit here every week and go, oh my gosh, why did they do it? If they could have just, oh my gosh, the console, what's going to happen? Oh, the humanity, the consoles aren't going to sell. Oh, Xbox and Phil, why didn't you listen? Like, you should have kept your game secret so we had bragging rights. But they wanted us to continue and cry about it. It's been a year. It's been over 10 months since the reality came in, right? It's like they wanted us to complain so they could say, we told you so. We told you Xbox had no games, and when they did, and you rallied on this ABK deal, and yeah, I did. But I also said, gosh, I kind of wish they would give up on this and spend this money more wisely, because look what could happen. So I think that's really what it comes down to, is they're shocked that Xbox fans aren't crying in the streets 24/7. First of all, they got over it. They got over it. And when Phil says we're putting our games everywhere 19 times, you only have one choice. I love you so much, but I'm going to say it. Not you, Mag. You have one choice. You can move on and look forward to the games, or you can cry in your car. No, but it's like, you can whine about it all you want. It will not change anything. Like, I could make 1 million infographics. I could make 1 million videos. The math says the industry is going to make more money by making their games more accessible to more people. When you have Hiroki Totoki and Jim Ryan and the leadership of PlayStation say we're going more multi-platform, it doesn't mean they're going to Xbox. It means they're just going to make their games have more survivability on more platforms, on their handhelds, other handhelds, PC, and everything. They're already there. And we've already said it.
Yeah, in that respect, yes. Yeah, you're right.
Is there anything that I said that you disagree with?
No. What I think is what I was going to embellish on what I was talking about a little bit earlier there is that I think that the way, and there's a certain group of people that you'll see. It's not the same people. It's just like a smaller percentage of people who talk about things. Now, I understand that when you have a vision, right, of what you want for your preferred, let's say, console, okay? So you walk into 2020, you see the reveals in 2019 for the Series S and the X and this and that. And then, you're like, oh, okay, here we go. New generation, new fresh start, Xbox One. Actually, in my opinion, the first half of Xbox One was actually quite good. Better than the Series X, Series first 4 years. I was having a great time. Yeah, I loved it. Xbox One the first half of it was fantastic. Second half, that's when it all started falling apart. But anyways, the point is that when you look at it, you're like, all right, new generation, new war. Here we go. It's starting from scratch. Everybody's at zero, essentially, even though there were, bridge games and things like that. That people weren't talking about that. We're like, here's a fresh start. Pandemic hit, whatever. Yeah. It was a new era. But and then when they saw ZeniMax, and you see ZeniMax, you're like, holy crap, these guys mean business. Because what did Phil say? More exclusives for the console, this and that, because that was the direction. Everybody's like, yeah, exclusives, right? And so you're like, all right, everybody's like all excited, like, we got the exclusives, we got more people are going to go over to the Xbox ecosystem. Great, and everybody's excited and whatever else, and hopefully they're gonna do way better than the last generation now, and this and that. And then ABK happened. And I was all rah-rah. I'm not going to lie to anybody, and I never will. I was all rah-rah about the ABK thing at first.
Same.
I mean, I was doing Boom shows when I was on Primetime Gaming with Mr. Boom. Go sub to Mr. Boom's like XL, good friend of mine. And so I was doing those shows with him. I was doing shows with Noof Nukem on Gaming After Dark. Go sub to Noof Nukem. And we were doing all that stuff. And then what happened is about halfway through, I went, wait a minute. And then I started talking to people that are actually there. And then when I was like, wait a minute, guys, pump the brakes here. I don't think this is what you think it's going to be, because that's when the strategy started to change, right? And when that strategy started to change, you're like, this is no longer a competition. So it's fine. And now let's fast forward to now. We don't have to get into the whole history. We already know the history.
Yeah, we do.
Fast forward to now. Yeah. Fast forward to now, we all know what happened, how it happened, whatever else. And I don't fault people who saw this going one direction, then it went another direction. What are you going to do when you get something that didn't meet your expectation or has a negative connotation? What do? You try to find the good in it, right? So you're like, okay, well, you know what? Fine, they went third party.
I mean, it's just video games. Like,
right, but the thing is, you're going to look at the good out of it. And what is the good out of it? You can say, well, now they're everywhere. They're going to potentially make a lot more money, which means I'm going to continue getting games on my ecosystem that I prefer to play on, which is, let's say if you're an Xbox gamer, I will continue to play on Xbox. I will continue to get Game Pass because Microsoft is going to be making millions of dollars by going third party and offering them on PlayStation and PC or whatever else. So that keeps them happy. It keeps PlayStation happy, PC happy, and it keeps me, that Game Pass gamer, happy. I'm just saying from there. So if you're looking at something that didn't go the way you thought it was, what do? You pick, like you hand pick. It's like you're picking strawberries out of a garden, right? You're picking the best ones. So you're trying to look for the most positive news out of that. Now, some people, then they look at that and they go, you know what? This actually isn't a bad thing. I look forward to continuing to play in this ecosystem, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll get some guy going, Cope. Yeah. Sniff some more copium. And I'm like, all he did was try to find the positive out of a situation. Like, isn't that what you do normally? You know what I mean?
I mean, like I said, it's just video games. And like Soiltech says in the chat, to be honest, ABK buyout didn't need any sort of public buy-in. It's purely business. It was a business decision, and I didn't know as much as you did, Mag, at the time, but I was a totally different person. If you want to look back, like, I was really excited about the list of things that Xbox finally had that no one else had. Like, even the IPs, looking at ABK, like, these are Xbox's IPs now. But that's completely changed.
But our first intent, or our first thought, though, was, because when you think about it, what was the first thought? We're getting ABK. We're not getting nothing. Okay, we don't own any of this stuff. we got to stop that. We got to stop that crap too. We don't own any of this unless you own stock in the company. You own nothing. You were just a consumer. Microsoft is getting ABK, and if you're an Xbox gamer only, you're like, yay! I get to get all these future games on Game Pass. And don't think that conversation didn't happen, because I saw it thousands of times when it happened. Everybody was saying Call of Duty is going to be exclusive on Game Pass and Xbox and this and that, and then that's going to boost the sales and it's going to go through the roof, and then they're going to win the war and this and that, whatever. And then I started hearing otherwise, but that was the conversation. Well, when that didn't happen, that's fine. It didn't happen. And then those people say, well, you know what? I didn't get that, but at least I'm still getting it on my Game Pass or whatever they're doing, right? So, like I said, once again, you're picking out the good out of a situation that has evolved into something different. Another example. Let's say you're a sport, you're a fan of any sports team. I don't even care what league you're playing in, whatever, right? And you end up in last place, and it's your team, it's your hometown team. You're happy. You're like, you know what?
Dallas Cowboys.
Man, that really sucks. Okay, Dallas Cowboys. You can say, you know what? That really sucks.
Yeah,
they're my team. We ended up in last place. However, at least next year we get the first round draft pick because we were the last. You know what I mean? So you always look for a positive.
Or it's like we went to 8 games. Right? We went to 8 games that season. My wife and I went to 8 games that season, and we still had a great time. And Uncle got drunk.
So you're going to pick out the positives, right? You're going to pick out the fun things that you have with it and whatever. And as long as you continue to get that product, it's not like the Dallas Cowboys are going anywhere. They're still going to be there next year. It's the same thing. It's just the degrees of success are, well, that's neither here nor there. But there are people out there. And there's no question, there are people out there who absolutely will shift so violently towards whatever's being said in order to continue to have that fan base come forward.
Or
I would prefer people. Yep. Sorry.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Or you'd prefer those people to what?
No, I say I would prefer people to come after me and smack talk me for telling my truth and not shifting my goalposts. My goalposts don't go anywhere. They stay exactly where they are.
Yeah.
And I'm standing right there and I'm like, listen, man, whether you like it or not, I hope you're here to see me for me, not for what I say.
Yeah.
I may not always say something that you like. For example, what friend do you have out there that agrees with every single word that comes out of your mouth? It's impossible.
Yeah, not
right?
my friends.
But that friend is there for you, right? Because you're you. And I think that in my opinion, a proper entertainer, a YouTuber, or anything like that, or a personality, any of those things, you should just be you. And there's no problem with people saying, hey, man, I agree or disagree with what that guy says, but he's cool. Sure. I like him anyway. We're friends and we talk in the chat and we do this and that. And so I will say things that piss people off in the Xbox community all the time, but I don't care.
Yeah, I do too.
It's not that I don't care about you. I just not going to shift my opinion on something based on whatever. But there are people out there who will literally take the words of these executives, and then they will literally just spit it out because there's a fraction of people out there who want to literally hear only one thing
or defend it. Yeah.
And defend it to the dying breath and not analyze or even criticize anything that's going on. And it's silly. But they make money off that. And so I think that's more the focus there.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point, because like the complaint is when Phil says, we want to put our games on more platforms so that our franchises can survive. That's good for our business, and that's a good fit for us. And then an Xbox content creator or pundit says, I think it's good that Xbox, wants to put their games in more places, because right now, and this is something I would say, and I have said, right now in this current market, especially with Western developers where most of Xbox studios are, it's really difficult to keep a franchise alive or to have a game sell enough because, as Matt Piscatella pointed out last week, that 12% of the purchasers are buying those new games. The rest are all on live service. We talked about that last week. I think the complaint about this... on
Blue Sky, by the way.
Yeah, Blue Sky, where the Xbox executives are.
By the way, did you guys know... I was about to say that. Did you notice Phil and...
all of the executives are more active on Blue Sky. And it's all kumbaya over there until we all move over, which I won't, but whatever.
No one's moving anywhere.
There's a lot I have to say because when Phil says these things and we repeat things, like as a gaming content creator like me, where I talk about the games, like most of the time you and I are sitting here talking about what we enjoy, what we're looking forward to. I would tell this content creator that was complaining about people who are defending Xbox or going along with the new it's so stupid to have to say this. They're going along with the way Xbox is changing. Well, what do you want me to do? Sit there and sit in the 2020s or sit in the 2010s mentality of an Xbox that had no games? Like I said, I would rather have Xbox right now where they have 8 to 10 games coming out every year from their studios than last generation when they had full exclusives and all I got was Recore and Super Lucky's Tale. Okay. So I hope you're listening to that and you clip that, because right now I have to look at what benefits me. Do I care more about bragging rights or do I care about Xbox having way more games? And they have way more games. Do I need them to sell more consoles? Absolutely not. I already bought mine and they're going to sell the minimum amount and that'll be the end of the story. Never will they compete with PlayStation on that level again. So there was something else I wanted to say on that, but I'll never remember what it is because I can't even.
No, you'll remember.
But
the thing is, I keep saying it over and over, and it's something that I think that we all should. We should live by. I mean, you do whatever you want to do out there. I'm not telling people how to live or how to react to certain stories or how how close this is to you. I know there's some people out there who have a very unhealthy obsession with the gaming industry and stuff like that. It's a little bit much, where it's like, listen, man, this is my hobby. I've been gaming for 46 years and I'll never stop. Okay. And I'll never stop. I love this. I love all of this. I think about gaming 7 days a week even when I'm at work doing whatever, I'm still thinking about gaming and whatever else, right? Because it's what I love. And that's great. But I'm not I do not have an unhealthy obsession with how things go or how we are still, at the end of the day, you have to pull yourself back and really sit there and just go, I'm just buying a product. And we need to just look at it like that. And the number one questions we should have are, is the product good? And is it making me happy?
Yeah.
That's it.
It absolutely is, too.
That's all it should be. Don't worry about Colt. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about what I say. If I decide to stream on a PS5 Pro, and then I get some guy in the chat going, the PS5 Pro is a failure, you don't have to do that. I don't listen to those people. Like,
Stop yelling
I'm
at
there
me.
having fun. If I'm streaming on Xbox, then I'm streaming, and then some guy comes in and goes, nobody bought this Series X.
Or when I'm talking to my good friend. My good friend just started playing Avowed, and another person was like, game is so mid. Game is just okay. That's all it is. It's just okay. It's mid. I'm like, it's really good. He's really enjoying it. I loved it. He's like, and I'm like, why do we do this?
Say it's fair. You can always say, yeah, sure. If you think it's mid, that's fine.
I'm just saying, when I look at it, it looks mid to me. But on the internet, I do this all the time. I tend to make a statement, and it sounds like I'm speaking for everybody. I don't mean to sound like that, but I remember part of what I was going to say. When you were talking about defending, you reminded me of this morning I posted that it's been 502 days since Activision Blizzard closed. And Phil had talked about bringing the back catalog of ABK onto Game Pass, and it's been 502 days, and they put like 4 games there. And I know they have 50 plus games that are back compat plus out, like, and plus all the Call of Duties. And so I heard a couple people defending Xbox this morning, Mag, and saying, well, they have to make sure their partners don't get their toes stepped on. And, they want to drip feed that. So, everyone has time to play because our backlogs are so big. I'm like, no, you spent $80 billion on the promise of stacking Game Pass with games. Dump all those games in there, or at least dump a chunk. They should be dumping 2 to 3 every single cycle, which is every 2 weeks. They should be putting something from ABK in there every 2 weeks, but they haven't. And I think they're just holding on to them. And don't defend Xbox, okay? Do not defend Xbox. Ask for better. In fact, ask for a mile so they can at least give you a foot. Really, because I think you should demand every Call of Duty game and all of the Crash games and the Tony Hawk and all that stuff. Demand all of that so Xbox hears it and they're like, man, we can't give them 50 games. We'll give them 8. And that's the way we should be looking as consumers. And we get hungry for games, and we thirst for them. And the only way you can quench that thirst, Mag, is with our excellent sponsor, 4XP, which you're wearing their hat right now. I think it's time that you tell them about 4XP.
What an absolute coincidence that I'm wearing this hat right now. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one thing that we could all agree upon, whether people are arguing about consoles or what's going on or the future of it and who's moving the goalposts and who's not. But there's one group out there. There's one thing that stands like a monolith on the moon, put there by aliens themselves. It is nothing more and nothing less but 4XP. 4xpgaming.com. You want to go check out 4XP Gaming? Go check out their website, 4xpgaming.com. I am almost certain, ladies and gentlemen, that they may have something that you can get in there and say a taste and give it a shot before you even buy.
This is it right here.
You can get it right there. You can have a try before you buy. Get in there and go to 4xpgaming.com. Check it out. And I got to tell you something else, Colteastwood. And I got to tell you something else, Chad out there. And, of course, the 4XP
Call me by my whole name.
Good. Yeah, you know you're in trouble when I call you by your whole name. Mr. Colt Eastwood, you get down here immediately and tell me what happened at school today. The thing is that I've been getting a lot of photos and a lot of pics from our followers and our listeners on this very show, showing me tubs and everything else that they bought from 4XP. So you know what, folks? It's getting out there. And you know what? They're getting on it. Time for you to get on it. I'm already on the train. Colt's on the train. We're driving the train. We're not even on the train. We're the engineers. We're the ones cranking this forward. This train ain't stopping for anybody. So you better jump on while it's still moving. 4xpgaming.com.
Thank you.
You got to try it, man. The tastes are fantastic. The product is fantastic. I actually did a little bit of a little blurb on them when I did a little review on the product. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Colt Eastwood did the same thing, and absolutely amazing, man. Go to 4xpgaming.com. You'll see a link in the chat very shortly. You can go check it out, and you know what? Take a look at it, man. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah,
and like I said, they still have that try before you buy. So we got to check that out. You go take a look, and you can even have a little sample. Colteastwood has them in his hands as we speak.
We don't talk about it enough, but it's a powdered drink that you hydrate with water, and then it's like almost like candy flavored energy drink. It's great. Delicious. Love the stuff. Ecstasy 2025 will get you 20% off. That's it. We'll get back to gaming. We appreciate them. They're awesome. 4XP. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
We talk about look at this. Look at this packaging. It looks like the most gorgeous anime.
There you are.
Like graphic novels you've ever seen. Like, look at this, man. Look at the work they've put into this. If you go to the website, it actually looks like you're picking characters from Mortal Kombat, and you're getting in there and you're like, oh my God, this is so cool. And the coolest thing is, because they have a background in gaming, these guys have like they have characters, like the flavors have backstories, like Scorpion. You know, like you know when you're like playing Mortal Kombat. By the way, Shane Stevens, I saw you asked me the question earlier. One of the cabinets is yes. Sorry, there was a question he asked me about 41 minutes ago. Sorry, Shane Stevens, I just got to it now. The thing is like, you know, when you go to Mortal Kombat, which is sitting right there, folks, right? And then when you like highlight a character, or like even like, you know, when it's having like those running screens on it and it just goes Scorpion.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
There you go. Exactly. And then like you'll see Scorpion, and then next to it you'll see a backstory, right? And it'll say Scorpion came from so and so, whatever. They have this for all the flavors because they have characters that are tied to the flavors, and they have like whole backstories and everything. It is so cool. So you go there and you're like, oh my God, this is wild. It's got these animations. It's got music. It's got all kinds of, they really did an all out number on this thing, man. So go check out the website, 4xpgaming.com.
Yeah, they're in the description as well.
There you go.
Yeah, we appreciate them. Meg, that was the longest commercial ever, but you keep it interesting and exciting. And
I try, my friend.
And you make me thirsty.
Achievement unlocked. Colteastwood is now getting 4xpgaming.com.
Yes.
There you go. That's worth 100 achievement points, folks. That's a diamond achievement right there.
We've got a couple of super chats here from Phase 23 Brooklyn, New York, and I'll make this quick since we harped on this for quite a bit. But he says exclusives are bad. Games should be everywhere. I don't agree, but they'll be almost everywhere. He also says Sony needs to put their games. What's that?
Sorry. Do the other super chat.
He said Sony needs to put their games on Xbox or put Game Pass on PS5. Sony needs to follow Xbox. I don't know if he's being facetious, but I don't think Sony would allow Game Pass on PlayStation. But if they did, it would be.
They won't.
Yeah, it would destroy PlayStation.
It's not going to happen. But you know what the beauty of being mature adults is? You can agree to disagree and still be friends and be able to be there to talk.
Yeah. Face has always been very cool for years.
Yeah, man.
For years, he's always been really good and been very respectful. Like I said,
we can agree. Like, I totally disagree with what he says. Am I going to stop talking to him now? That's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my life. But that's what people are doing.
Yeah.
That's what people are doing. And that's the insanity of what's going on. It's like, no. You know, and like people could talk about other YouTubers, like the one, you know, I know who you were referring to. And I know some people in the chat were referring to too. I can tell you this, agree or disagree with me. He's one of the smartest guys on YouTube, period. When you actually listen to him break down and like when he goes through all the, all the logic and everything else and breaks things down, he's actually very rarely wrong. And people might say, oh, Maggie, you're crazy for even saying that. And I'm like, actually, no, because if you actually look at the nuances of everything that he's saying, a lot of the times he's correct. A lot of people then take what he says and say, he's talking about me.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
Right. And you just said that now. He goes, he might not be talking about me. And I'm like, no, probably not.
Yeah. And if we're,
so like,
I don't know if you're talking about one of two.
YouTube.
I don't know if you're talking about one of two people that it could be, but both of those people never name names. And I do the same because we don't like do the man drama on here. They don't do the man drama, but I have noticed that it's so weird. A lot of the PlayStation podcasts, they don't look happy. I'm just going to be candid for just a second before I get into the rest of this show, but they do the shows like this. They just look angry the whole time, and they're just super bummed out. And I'm like, we are living in the greatest hobby, one of the greatest hobbies to be able to be in any world just by turning on your controller, your keyboard, and playing games. And I would say 90% of the time I'm really happy, and there's some things will bring me down with this going on in the games industry, you know, like watching everything that you were looking forward to playing get canceled because people are losing their jobs and stuff. Or when I make a video and no one watches it, like other than that, I'm pretty happy. But I appreciate everybody and for putting up with Mag and I today, especially for putting up with me.
So
Mag's amazing.
I see some people in the chat right now, and like we're talking about it, and it's like even Tuggernot, he's like, Mag, this is your worst take ever. I'll hold my tongue. Cool. That might be your version of the worst take ever, right? And that's cool. But you know what? Tuggernot and I talk all the time, every week. He's in the chat, I'm in the chat, or I'm on other shows. He's there. Whatever. Colin Prime said the same thing. He goes, he doesn't always agree. He mostly doesn't agree with me. I disagree with a lot of Mag says. You should rethink that, Colin Prime. But anyways, he says that. But you know what?
Yeah.
He still shows up here every week. That's fine. Because I disagree with my like I was just away, like I said, this weekend with my brothers. We completely disagree when it comes to like a lot of subjects or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to stop talking to my brothers, my actual brothers, because we disagree on something? No, because there's something more there, right? We're there for each other because we are there not just for family, but we like each other for who we are, not about what we believe in or what we don't believe in. Everybody's thoughts are going to be different, right? So it's you know, it's neither here nor there, man. But like I got to tell you, I don't know. There's a lot of nonsense out there, and the thing is, when it comes to YouTube, I look for information. Obviously, I look for people who have information out there that I want to hear, and then at the same time, I also want to hear something that's actually interesting to listen to and entertaining. So it's it's a little bit of both, right? So I don't look at the views of what they say so much as it is it informative and entertaining. That's basically all that matters to me. And so, like, I do the same thing with my stuff, like my channel. Like, when I do my things, my videos are only like 5 minutes, sometimes 7 minutes, maybe on the rare occasion, longer than that. And I'm just, just talking for a few minutes and, just shooting the breeze and giving out some information and trying to be entertaining doing it. And that's all there is to it. I just keep it simple and whatever. Whether you like it or not, hey, man, it's all good. It's just, it is what it's going to be. But I don't know. I don't understand this nonsense out there. Like I said, what we should be focusing on is it good and does it make us happy? That's all that we should be focusing on. All this other stuff is just nonsense.
I want to ask the viewers, are you seeing a lot of recommendations on YouTube, like when you're going to watch stuff about gaming that is like, the industry's cooked, it's over, it's failed, flopped, no one cares, no one likes it? Like, I don't know, just answer that for yourself. I see a lot of it.
Yeah, but it also depends on what you're talking about and what you're watching, right? Because the algorithm will shift depending on what you're paying attention to, right?
Yeah.
Because it'll pick out
sometimes
keywords.
The algorithm has kind of betrayed me a little bit lately because I don't need to know the intricacies of why Western development is failing. I already know the main reasons and I see all these videos. So I don't want to dwell on that because most of the time we're talking about what we like. But I got an interesting question here.
Isn't that weird?
And isn't it something? I mean, when you take a step back, I mean, this chat's amazing that we'll watch the show.
Yes, they are. Our chat's awesome, man.
Like, you guys are all enjoying stuff 90% of the time. Like, there's very, very few people complaining because if you take that step back, most of the stuff going on in gaming is like, this game comes out in 7 days. This one comes out in 2 months. This one comes out hopefully in 2025. If it doesn't, I'm going to pull what little bit of hair I have out of my head.
Dude, I go to other shows, man. There's some real toxic people in some of those chats, man. Yeah. Nasty people. And we don't see that here, man. I mean, once in a while you'll get some jackass come in here, but like, yeah, once in a while there's Magnum, but like you get some guy in here just being an absolute clown or whatever else, and then say stupid stuff, whatever. But not often, man. I would say like 99.99% of the time.
Half the time it's you.
Absolutely amazing people.
It's you, and you're the clown in the chat.
Exactly. The most toxic people on the show are right here talking, myself and you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Toxic Pony over here. You got Xbox Shill over there. I mean, Jesus, we're just awful.
Yeah, we're awful. Hit the like button. Hit the like button if you think Mag and I are awful. We appreciate you for your support.
Yeah, hit the like button.
TS Bud 95, thanks you for the $2 super chat, says how to gain followers starting at 0 on streams. If you're talking about streaming on YouTube or Twitch, I don't know anything about Twitch. I don't stream gaming gameplay on YouTube, but Mag does. Like, Mag, what would be your quick punchy
let me read it.
Advice? How to gain followers if you start at 0 to stream? What have you done?
The first thing you do if you're new at it, like for example, I'm not new at the whole YouTube thing. I've been on YouTube for 5 years now, but it was never my shows. I was always just there. But now that I've got my own channel, and yes, I'm doing it, you have to, if you're looking for to get people out there, first of all, you got to be interesting. You got to be engaging with the audience, which is very difficult and exhausting. I can tell you that right now. Even as ridiculously energetic as I am, after about an hour and a half, I am totally gassed because I'm playing the game, talking to either my wife or my son, because we're playing online together, whichever show I'm doing, Death Do Us Part or Mag and the Wolfman, and then at the same time, in between takes, when there's like a little bit of a lull in the game or there's a cutscene, I have to go and start catching up with the chat and start answering questions and talking to them. So I'm literally doing 3 things at once. So you've either got to do a lot of cocaine, drink a lot of XP, 4XP, or you just got to be so ridiculously energetic that there's the only way that you could just keep going. And go to 4xpgaming.com, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be able to stream properly and be able to do 3 things at once. So it's very tough. So you're watching, actually you're doing 4 things, because you're watching the stream, you're watching the quality, you're playing the game, you're talking to the person, and you're interacting with the chat. It's not difficult. I mean, I could do it with ease. It is draining. Now, the other thing you want to check out is that you want to play games that are relevant to what's going on in the gaming world now, that people will actually want to tune into. I'm not going to go on my stream and play a game like, I don't know, Resident Evil 2 that no one's playing anymore or whatever, right? It's just, or you know what I mean? It's like Grand Theft Auto Vice City for like absolutely no reason, or you know what I mean? Whatever the game is, you got to do something what's relevant with about now. Like, for example, I'll give you one more quick example. My son and I are playing It Takes Two right now. The reason why, yes, it came out 3 years ago. The reason why we're playing It Takes Two is because Split Fiction comes out next week. And so we did that in anticipation of Split Fiction. It's going to be a lead up. And then when Split Fiction drops, my son and I are going to be playing the whole game of Split Fiction online. We're going to be doing episodes of that. My wife and I doing co-op games or whatever. We did the Space Marine 2 thing. We're still doing that now. We're almost finished the campaign. The reason why we're doing that is because we're eventually going to get into more co-op shooters, a la Borderlands 4 that comes out later in the year. That's the other thing. You want to stay current with the games that are being released because people want to see you play them. Yeah, right? They want to see you play those games day one. I will be reviewing South of Midnight, so I will not be streaming that game. That will be behind the scenes. But I will be playing. As far as I know, I'm not going to be getting a code for Doom the Dark Ages. So that being the case, I will stream Doom the Dark Ages entirely. Okay. Right? So I will go out there and play that. And so like things like that, because you want to, like I said, you want to stay current. You want to stay, you know what I mean? Like in the know with everybody. And then those keywords get picked up. So if Doom the Dark Ages drops that day and you've got Doom in your title, the algorithm helps that out because that's what people are looking for. Because they look at the search bar, and of course the algorithm is based on the search bar. So those are all things. I hope that's helpful. Sorry, that's a very long answer, but it's not a simple question. It's just and
there's a lot of factors in that. Erica's for the win in the chat, who also streams games. Well, shout out to her. She says, talk to yourself, practice as you are gaming now, and be easy to engage with. I would say and also I've seen some streamers who are very quiet, very low energy, and don't say a lot because they're thinking. When you're playing games, you don't realize you can't just be chatterbox the whole time, or you won't be able to pay attention to the game. It's a tough thing, but best of luck to you. And, build a community of people. Like Koki says, just like Colt's title today, it's bull. You think so? But we'll get into that in a minute, because there's more to that than just, oh my gosh, people are they have no nuance. It's great. But that's okay. Maybe they don't have friends. It can be tough out there. Let me get to the next super chat from BT Maverick. Thank you so much for the 5. Says it's also kind of hard to complain when Game Pass is insanely stacked, and this is going to continue for the next few years with no droughts in sight, which is absolutely true. Chris with the $5 super. Thank you, Chris. Says, I hate the drip feed of ABK. If you're afraid an old Call of Duty game will do better than the current one, then maybe reevaluate how you made the new one. I don't think they are. I think they're just afraid to throw all that value into Game Pass when they could continue to. I don't think they're selling those old games. You know what? Bullcrap. Throw them all in there. I hate the drip feed. I'm with Chris. Sorry, Meg. What did you?
No. I was saying I agree with him.
I do too.
By the way, there is no drip feed. There's no drip feed at all. They're not dropping anything in there. They dropped like 3 games in there, and that was it.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. 3 games, 4 games, and then that was it. There's no drip feed. What they should be doing is a couple every quarter, and just keep it doing it like that, and just say, hey, listen, here's the next little thing. And then what you do is you create a subgenre inside the Game Pass search engine where you have ABK, or just, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, Activision Blizzard, because you're not going to get the King games in there, right? You're not going to get Candy Crush on your Xbox or your PC. So you could just call it Activision Blizzard, and then just have a whole subcategory in the Game Pass search bar. You know how they have it broken up in like action, adventure, and this and that, and then they got Bethesda titles, and they've got the EA, whatever they call it now, the Vault, is it the Vault, whatever, and all that kind of stuff, right? They had, you know what I mean? Do that, and then just steadily put them in there, and I don't see what the problem is. I mean,
know it's not
maybe
the
there's
same.
a reason.
ABK is much bigger, but when Bethesda, the month after Bethesda was closed, they dropped 20 of their games in there, and Xbox didn't do anything with at least 50 games. Like, it's been 500 days. That's why I said it's been 500 days. They didn't drop 10. They didn't drop 8. They didn't drop 4. They put in Diablo way later, and then they put in another game, and then they put in an old college. It's bullcrap. They need to do better. Christian5916, who was in the chat last week, who was in the hospital, sends a super chat. Thank you so much for the $10. Says, hello, guys, life update. I've been out of the hospital since last Wednesday and getting better. I'm glad to be home and watching you guys. Now, back to gaming.
There you go, dude. There you go, man. I'm glad to hear that. That's so exciting. I'm super happy for you, man. I really appreciate you reaching out there and you know, letting us know what's happening, man. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, thanks. And let us know in the chat, right in the chat, what your first game you're going to get back to now that you're feeling better.
That's
feeling
right.
Like a real human again.
That's right. I want to see what you're playing again.
We got C Marvel 360, who asks a question I get every week with a $2 super chat. Says, hey, whatever happened to Dealer Gaming? Is he okay? Yeah, he's okay. He's great. He's hilarious. But I don't know when he's going to come back to content creation. He said he wanted to do something by the end of the year, but like, I think he's just enjoying games and just playing, and I don't know. He's not back. So I don't think he's going to do RDX anytime soon, but he said when he comes back, he'll kind of like reevaluate, you know, because a lot of his panel members kind of went off in different directions. So
yeah, everybody kind of evolved into something else, and then
a lot of guys went to PC. Some guys hate Xbox. So, you know, it's crazy. But I know Dealer, and I've known Dealer for 7 years or whatever. He just freaking loves games. He just loves, and he's been beating games and playing through stuff. So I know he's doing great. He's just not making content, and I couldn't do it. I'm always making content. I'm always obsessing about it. I'm always thinking about what I need to make next. Rumor broke today. Hideki Kamiya, who made Scalebound, was hanging out with his team and watched some old trailers and old gameplay footage on YouTube of Scalebound that went public. And he just said he was reminiscent about Platinum Games working on that and how he'd like to bring it back. And then he made a quote tweet and said, come on, Phil, let's go for Scalebound. I have a very differing opinion on this, but I thought I'd kick it off to Mag. You were talking about that killer lineup, the Xbox One. What was your take on Scalebound back in the day, and how do you feel about it now?
I didn't care then, and I don't care now.
Yes.
I didn't care at all when they canceled it. I didn't see enough. When I did see, was rough and choppy and awful. The only reason why, in my opinion, this guy's talking about it, he's not talking about it because he's just talking about it because he wants the funding. That's all it is. They just want the funding. They're looking for money, and they're just no. I don't care.
I don't understand why some other studio like you can't
with this game.
Why can't you shop that around to 505 or some other publisher that does other people's games? Like, shop this around and say, look, we've got half of this code built in Unreal Engine, or that's probably not Unreal Engine. We've got half this code that's kind of still workable. Like 2 years, we can kind of bring it up to readiness. And then
what is it? Another games as a service, isn't it? Isn't that what they were doing with that game? It was going to be a games as a service, an online.
I don't remember.
Play with your friends and all this other stuff.
Was it supposed to be like a co-op game?
I thought it was I thought it was a games as a service like multiplayer game. Where like everybody gets their own dragon and goes and does their own thing. It's got disaster written all over it.
I couldn't get past Dante from Devil May Cry 4 with Beat headphones. Like, I just couldn't get over how mid that game looked to me. And normally I don't like complain about a game if I'm not interested. Like I look at something like whatever, I look at a game and I'm not interested, I don't say much. But I just remember people were crying from the rooftops for Scalebound to be a thing, and I always thought, I think it's just a big waste of money.
Do you know why everybody was freaking out about it? Because at that time, when that was talked about a lot, there was a massive Xbox drought for first-party games during that time, and so people were just like, "Oh my God, please just come out!"
Like 2016 or 2017 when they canceled it, right? Yeah,
yeah, and like so people were freaking out about that time because that's when a lot of the Donnie D stuff was kind of coming to an end, and then there was a focus after that on it. Well, there was a different focus after that, right?
Yeah.
And then that's where, Phil came in and he started focusing on the hardware. Okay, let's get some more powerful hardware up there with the One X and this and that.
Yeah.
And then they started, he's like, let's start straightening this boat out here because there was a choppy part in there after like those third-party deals. Like, remember that? Remember they had like a Rise of the Tomb Raider was exclusive to Xbox. Everybody freaked out. They had an amazing lineup when they launched the system. They had like 6 banger games that came out. I don't care what the meta score was for Rise Son of Rome. That was the best game of the generation. And you know what I mean? So like they had all these whatevers. Good. Yeah, man. Dead Rising 3, they had that, and they had Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm not going to go through all the games, but you all know if you were there. And I thought it was great. And then it started to falter. And that's
in 2017,
Yes, and then they showed the Scalebound situation that people were like, "Oh my God, this is all I have left."
Well, I mean, to be fair,
this game.
To be fair, there was probably people that were on board to buy an Xbox One knowing Scalebound was like one of the many purchases they were going to be making. And it got canceled midway through the generation in the 9th inning. So,
and how many studios did Xbox have at that time?
Just like 4, really.
4. They had 4 studios. So like this was like everybody was clinging onto it like it was the last dangling rope off a sinking ship. And you're like, oh my God, let me just get this one rope. And it never came. So I think people made a much bigger deal than what it was. And so I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like I said, again, long story longer. Don't care then, don't care now. Or didn't care then, don't care now. Just make an awesome game of whatever you're going to do. If you are going to go and pursue that, just make it awesome. But I think at this point, I think Games as a Service has had its very short run, and there's a very few of them that are successful. And I think you just leave it alone and just go focus on some quality, either single player co-op games, whatever you want to do. Stay away from this.
Yeah, and we'll talk about some of the games that they're focused on. There's a new one that leaked this week as well.
Yes.
With Scalebound, I know Phil doesn't seem to be interested in all touching that game. It would be interesting if someone else picked it up. I mean, PlayStation's not jumping at the opportunity to bring Scalebound to life. Maybe Microsoft and Xbox own the name, the trademark, the IP.
Someone in the chat say that they own the IP. So
yeah, I think so.
Which I think they do. But like,
nobody's selling that or wanting to buy it. I don't think.
Make a single player dragon game then. Like make a dragon game. I don't know. That's your vehicle and your like your whatever, your companion on the thing. You could call the dragon in at some point when things get a little bit too thick or whatever. Make a but the thing is, at this point, you're already working on the Elder Scrolls 6, right? Yeah. You already got an open world action RPG, whatever. You've got that now with Avowed. You've got Elder Worlds 2 is not fantasy per se, but that was more sci-fi. But it doesn't matter. The point is you got all these like big open world RPGs coming out. You've already got one that's out right now. You've got another one coming out this year. You've got Elder Scrolls 6 presumably coming out between next year and 2027 or beyond. Who the hell knows? You got Fable coming out in 2026. Why would you even look at this game? Just leave it alone, man.
Yeah, I mean it's just a money sink at this point, but someone said that Hideki's he has a pretty good pedigree. I think some things just don't work.
No one's talking about his pedigree. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean that in an offensive way. I'm just saying we're not talking about the pedigree. I don't actually doubt his pedigree either, right? At all. But what I'm talking about is what's the point of this specific game? There is none. I just say this, like, I mean, it just keeps coming back. It's like the friggin' Terminator. Every time it dies, a story comes back 6 months later. This game just won't go away. Just go away forever, please. Just go away.
Yeah, unfortunately, some games that sound cool that we don't get, we're not the ones sitting there in the office or at the studio looking at it going, this is disaster. Like we talked about, Avowed was like this 4-player co-op Destiny game, and an insider said, who was on the project, said it was awful. It was like a 4 out of 10 back then before they completely revamped it. So sometimes we look at stuff like, oh man, that trailer looks amazing. Like that Mind's Eye, that Grand Theft Auto looking game. Like it looks amazing when you see it. I just have this feeling like, man, what if that is just diarrhea waiting to happen? I hope not. I want the best for games like that.
Like, the thing is now I've come to this point in my life that at 50 years old and the very little time that I do have for gaming, I wait for not only reviews from outlets because I trust them. I trust them about 25% of the time because, sure, there's a lot of agendas and a lot of bull crap, behind what they do. I'm waiting for my fellow YouTubers. If I don't get the game myself, I'm waiting for my fellow YouTubers to give reviews. Some of the ones that are bigger than, obviously, ones that are significantly bigger than me, or even us, like guys who have subs in the millions or whatever. I'll watch them and talk to them. Even talk to anybody else. Be like, yo, did you pick up this game and that game? I listen to those because a lot of us have very similar tastes. Or people reach out to me and say, yo, Mag, I played this game. It's awesome. You should check it out. And I will. Or I won't based on their comments. So a lot of that now, I don't even bother. Like, I'll look at a game and go, wow, that looks great. And then I just forget about it until it comes out.
Well,
you know why?
Good.
There's no point. Because at this, it's just a crapshoot at this point. You know what I mean? It's just a crapshoot these days. I just wait until it's out, and then I want to hear what the people are saying. And then I'll be like, oh, now you have my attention. Because, I look at a lot of these games like that. Sorry, carry on.
I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 last night. I loaded up my online character because I'm going to play with Gaz soon. Yeah. And I was driving around. I was thinking, man, what's 6 going to be like? Like, how's it going to feel? How's it going to look? What are they going to add to it? And I kind of started dreaming about it while I was playing. And I was like, what's the point? Like I may not see that game for 11 months, or I may not see that game for 18 months. Like, right. I'll just wait until we get the reveal for the gameplay trailer. And then I can think about that because there's so much stuff to play right now. In fact, I'm going to get, when Split Fiction comes out, I might be reviewing AC Shadows right then. So I'm gonna have to set aside an amazing game with another amazing game. Like it's gonna be super busy because Doom, Dark Age, all that stuff. But we got
yes. I mean, we got a little bit of breathing room between that. Like South of Midnight. Like I said, I'll be playing that privately. But Split Fiction and Doom, I'll be playing publicly. So I look forward to that. Speaking of which. This is off any topic here, but I had a friend of mine reach out to me here, Versus Style. I know he's out there probably listening. Yeah. And he does a lot of work. He's a developer or whatever, does a lot of work in the gaming industry, and he just released today the new Carmen Sandiego game. Just came out today on the 3/3/2025. And so I was looking at it and I'm like, you know what? I didn't say anything to him. I was just like, oh man, that's awesome that he did that. And I'm like, oh man, it's out today. And he was talking about it. And then I responded to him. I'm like, yeah, I played Carmen Sandiego back in the, on my PC in the 80s and the early 90s. Loved that game. And then he's like, yeah, man, it's back and it's awesome. And it looks like a mixture between like Netflix animation plus, the gameplay that you would know and trying to figure. And I'm sitting there going, I almost feel like I want to stream that game too now. How fun would that be? How fun would that be if I bought Carmen Sandiego and then like have the chat get all in on it? Be like, yo, guys, help me with this puzzle, man. Like, what should we do here? Are we gonna solve these mysteries together? I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Did you play the original way back in the day?
Oh yeah, on PCs in the 80s and 90s, man. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? That was the TV show, but
Rockapella.
Man. I played those games. I love those games. Like you travel all the different countries, and then you unlock all the clues. You know what I mean? All that stuff. So I'm thinking. I
always think this was Carmen Sandiego, but when I was in 6th grade, we had Carmen Sandiego on the classroom PC. That's so funny because I don't know if it was an app. It was a color monitor. I think it was a Commodore 64 in the classroom in 1987. But we had Carmen Sandiego, but there's this other game, and I thought it was Carmen Sandiego. Maybe you'll remember it. But it was like a top-down, and there's these little red walking TVs with static snow on the screen. Was that Carmen Sandiego, or was that a different game? Because in my memory, I can't remember that being a separate game, or if that was like part of the Carmen San Diego.
The Carmen San Diego stuff was like you weren't really walking around. Now this one, you're walking around doing stuff, right? You're walking around interacting with things. You're looking at stuff, whatever. But I think the old one, if memory serves, it was just screens.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like
it had like a picture and then information about the clues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then like you just kind of looked at the screen and be like, okay, I'm looking at a map of the city on the in the subway station, and then you like, and all of a sudden the screen turns into just the map of that, and you're looking at it going, wait a minute, there's something this and that, whatever. You're trying to look at all these clues, and you're just like, okay, that's and then you're just what I mean, you're discovering stuff as you go along, and you're like, oh, there we go. And then once you get all the clues for that country, you get on the plane and you fly to the next country or whatever, right? So yeah, it was awesome, man. I love that. And then at the end you would discover whatever, right?
Yeah. So the tech in the chat says, Cole, it was an Apple PC that I was playing on.
Okay.
I didn't think it was an Apple because a year later when I went to junior high, we had Apple IIes in the computer lab. We had like 15 of them, and everyone was playing. In 1987 to 1988, people were playing Oregon Trail. But the year before, I was playing on a color screen, playing Carmen San Diego on this other game. So I just assumed maybe it was a Commodore 64 because those always had a color monitor. The Apple IIes are just a black screen with green monochromatic screen, whatever. But
True 77 in the chat says he goes stream the Oregon Trail. There you go. He had the same thought. That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I played Oregon Trail for maybe like 30 minutes my entire life. Like I played it a couple times. And I'm like, and then the Nintendo came out, and the rest is history. Completely smashed everything. I'm sorry, that was this total sidebar we got on.
No, there was a sidebar because we were talking about games releasing, right? And then it sparked my mind because we were talking about South of Midnight, we were talking about Doom, we're talking about AC Shadows, and then I'm like, oh my god, I just talked to Versatile like literally like half an hour before the show, and I was just like, then he mentioned, he's like, yo, dude, we dropped Carmen San Diego today, like his studio, that he works at, right? So I was just like, oh man. So yeah. So I thought I'd mention that too. So I'm going to take a very long, hard look at it, and I might actually be streaming that.
I thought you were going to say I'm going to take a very hard, long leak while you talk about the next topic.
No. That's after the show. I'm not drinking that much water right now. But yes, I'm going to highly consider actually streaming the entire game on my channel and have the chat be interactive with me, like really get in on, be like, guys, help me out here, man. Like let's do this together. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a lot of fun, man. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So, anyways, I'll consider it.
Yeah, very, very considerate. This doesn't surprise me, but Forza Horizon 5 is dominating the pre-orders. People are buying the $100 version on PS5.
Quality game will bring quality results.
Yeah, I expect it to do really, really well. I just really want to know. And I misspoke in my weekly news video that I put out, but last week, Friday. Forza Horizon 5's port for PlayStation was done by a separate studio. Because I was like, what in the world's Playground Games Forza Horizon team doing? Like, they're probably busy putting this package together. And then somebody they're somebody else is porting it. So they could absolutely be wrapping up Horizon 6 for this year. I hope so. There's two rumors. Forza Horizon 6 takes place in Egypt. The other rumor is in Tokyo. We've talked about that a lot. If it takes place in Ohio, I'm going to be super pissed. I don't want it to take place in
Egypt. It needs to be called Forza Horizon Origins, and it's now a racing RPG. All right, so they're going back from the original, and then the next one is going to be Odyssey. It's going to be in Greece.
Yep.
And then the next one is going to be Valhalla, and then you're going to be Vikings riding in longboats with wheels on them. So that's what's exactly happening.
Forza Horizon Shadows the next year after that, and then Forza Horizon Witches, which will be a real fan favorite in 2028.
That's right. That's right. Broomsticks,
amazing.
ladies and gentlemen. Broomsticks with 500 horsepower broomsticks.
Bro, we
soon
need that witch Assassin's Creed game. We need that. You and I.
Dude, if that happens, I am so effing
You're not waiting. If Assassin's Creed Witches comes out, you're not waiting a year. You're jumping in day one, aren't you? You better.
I'll tell you right now. See, guys, chat, girls, everybody, I'll tell you right now.
What is this hot witches?
I can't lie to you guys. I'm a complete fraud, okay? I'm a complete and utter fraud. Where's Astro Cyborg? Clip this. I'm a complete fraud. Because if Assassin's Creed Coven comes out the FOMO will be too strong because I love the I love witchcraft and also I obviously don't do it. I'm just saying I love the idea. Like for example, I watched what's it called? American Horror Story, and one of my favorite seasons out of all the American Horror Stories, besides the Carnival one, which is my favorite. The next one in there is the witches one. I think it's called the American Horror Story Coven. I think it was called. I can't remember what it was called. Anyways, I adored it. I love witch culture and all that kind of stuff. I'm really into that stuff, man. The witchcraft and all the cool voodoo stuff and whatever else. And I'm in 100%. So I will totally fraud out and buy a day one. And I don't care if it's so glitchy that like the broomsticks are upside down or the witches' hats like the point is on the bottom while the big part is on the top. I don't care because I'm obsessed with witches. So there it is.
That's good. Well, now we know what your kink is. Appreciate that. Broomsticks and witches.
Yeah. Nerds and Other Legends. What are you talking about? He says you're not telling use.
You're not telling us anything
Mag?
new. Yeah.
What the hell was that in reference to?
They already know you're a fraud. That's what he's saying. You're not telling us anything new.
Oh, son of a gun. Sorry, I didn't understand the reference. I was like, did I? No, I'm not into Agatha nerds. No.
Shiny, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says 2026 would be the 25th anniversary of Halo. If they were releasing a Halo remake, what better time to release the next console? Thoughts? Let's talk about this new console.
Oh yes, let's talk about this.
I'll read this with the one more so I don't get behind. LA Chargers fan 559. Thank you for the $5. Says shout out to my sister Alma Marcela Silvia de Algria, who is watching live, and my friend Elver. I just want to make sure that when I read it wasn't. I wanted to make sure when I read it wasn't a phonetic thing.
Yes, okay.
Elver Galarga. That has happened to me before. Someone says, hey, shout out to such and such, and then I said something that in Spanish is a swear word phonetically or English, and
yeah.
I've never sworn in my life, so this today wouldn't count. But shout out to your sister and your friend as well. Either way, actually, for some reason I have this memory, Meg. You and I have really good memories. That LA Chargers fan has done that before. Anyway, it's great. Just as long as it isn't something like super racist, then then they can't cancel me.
I've seen that on other podcasts, like bigger, like really big podcasts, where they'll come up with, they'll have a name that they just registered on YouTube that day, and there's some guys out there who they know what's going on, so they scream out the name and they just do it because they just don't care. They got so many subs and they make so much money off the advertising. They just say it anyway, and it's really funny because now it's a shtick, right? Now everybody's like, okay, let's see what we can get away with or whatever else, right? Before it becomes a problem. But yes, there are lines that have to be drawn. So
yeah. And Tugger Now says Colt dropped an F-bomb. Fudge. I don't know if Game Seeker was here earlier, but if you weren't, thank you so much for the bulbs. They're awesome. Last night I went and bought 2 lamps so I could run them this way, and I'm super happy. And I turn them on with my phone. It's like, look, nice. I'm in the 2000th century. What century are we in? 22, 21? Which one are we in?
We're in the 21st century.
We are?
Yeah. Shane Stevens, that's not a very nice thing to say, even though you're.
You cut out for a second.
I hope you're joking. Because I answered your question earlier.
How dare you?
Yeah, I spent my time to answer your question, even though it took me 41 minutes to get to that question.
What was it? The one about streaming?
He's asking about the arcade machines in the back.
Oh yeah. Well, no one cares about your arcade machines. I'm gonna come steal.
Nobody cares about my arcade machines.
I love your arcade machines. Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna make a trip soon to go visit a couple of friends that I know only on the internet and sort of outside the internet.
Right.
We might go to the world's largest, I think it's one of the U.S.'s largest arcades. We'll get into that another time. But my wife goes, you better tell Mag.
Is that in Boston?
Well, there's one in, I didn't want to say. I'll get to it.
Okay.
Another time. But my wife's like, it's like the biggest arcade. You should tell Mag. And I'm like, well, I mean, I should have Mag go with us. But, so I had this dream the other day. Mag, you're going to love this. Don't you love when people tell you about their dreams? I had a dream that I was in the car, and I get a video call from Gaz, and he's like got the video phone up, like the phone while he's driving, and he turns it.
You have to look at his face.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Right. Thankfully, I was at a stoplight. He turns the camera over, and you were in the car with him. It was a bright, sunny day, and you two were driving around with the windows down, hanging out. And I go, oh my gosh, it's the two worst co-hosts of X&C hanging out together. And you guys were laughing. And I said, do you guys want to meet for lunch? And right then I woke up. I was so mad, bro. But that was my dream.
You were thinking about food at a time like that when you had two of the worst XNC hosts you've ever had, having a grand old time.
That's the worst thing that could happen is two of my friends getting together when I'm not there to absolutely just destroy me and make fun of me. But
oh yeah, absolutely. And you get like phone calls at 4 a.m. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are you wearing?
Oh yeah, exactly. What time is it over there? What's the time difference? Just doing a time zone check. What time is it over there? Yeah, I could see that.
Game Seeker, thanks for the Canadian $10. Says Xbox is embracing Colt's Be Nice movement, sharing their games with everyone. Being serious though, he says Phil Spencer has talked about breaking the barriers in the industry for years, bringing games everywhere. He has. Thank you, Game Seeker, for that. He said as early as 2019. I just didn't. We didn't think it would happen the way it did. And so sue us for being surprised, but we appreciate your super chat. The new Xbox console has leaked yet again. And this from a trusted leaker who said about a month ago that the new project name had leaked. Jez Corden from Windows Central says that's not the project name. That the new Xbox console is being set to develop the 2026 Call of Duty game. I got to read this quote because it's very important to hear it the way it was said. According to Ghost of Hope, the 2026 Call of Duty title is not being developed for Xbox One and PS4 consoles. It's instead being developed for the next generation of consoles. The 2025 Call of Duty, which we're getting this holiday, Mag,
right? Yep,
is going to be cross-generation. There'll be an Xbox One version and an Xbox or a PS4 version. Yep. He is saying that the 2026 Call of Duty game is being developed on the new Xbox developer kit. If that's true, he says, this could be our first real hint into the next generation that Xbox could release around fall 2026. I'll talk about that Call of Duty in just a second, but we had heard last year that it was very possible that Xbox was targeting a 2026 release of their new console, their new hybrid PC. But to the best of my knowledge, I'm not an insider, but to the best of everything that I've heard from people who talk to people, I'm just getting secondhand information. Take it with a grain of salt. Maybe Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't come out in 2026, maybe it's 2027. When it comes to this console, I was told the green light came out. They are setting that console for 2027, not 2028, and probably not 2026. So the descriptor here would be for Call of Duty's next game. I need to make sure I put this in the timestamp. I've been doing timestamps as we go along. Here it is. Okay, so the descriptor being they would start developing games on the next generation console, even if it doesn't launch there. The big question, Mag, would be why in the world in 2026, when you don't have a new console, why would you not make your game on Xbox One and PS4? Or what do you think they would do? Because that's my question is,
dude. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's my question. Like in 2026, they're going to drop Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah,
you think that works?
Well, yeah. I mean, eventually you have to drop it, but the thing is, if you look at the Xbox side of things, never mind PlayStation. PlayStation is basically on par with what they were with the PS4. So they're selling their consoles. They're out there. They're at 75, 80 million at this point or whatever. And then who knows, by the end of this year with Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, they're going to be a lot more, right? So they're doing what they're doing. Now, what Xbox has to look at and say, okay, how are we doing? Yeah, okay, we're not selling as many consoles. I think they're at like, what, 30 something? Well, projected to
about
be around 35 million, whatever the hell it is. That's obviously way below what it was. But the thing is, you have to look at it and say, okay, well, there's a lot less Xbox consoles out there. Did those people migrate? And they know where people went, right? Because they could see where the accounts went, right? And what people are operating on. So like, did those people who did not go there, did they go to PlayStation or did they migrate over to PC? Right? So if they still have a decent number of people out there, they're saying, okay, well, you know what? Those Xbox jumpers went off to PC or they went over here, whatever. They could look at that and say, okay, well, you know what? We're still basically on par. Cut it off. At this point, just cut it off. So by not this year, but then the following year, they could just cut it off. Now, the other thing is that we did hear, I know you heard it too, is that the new Call of Duty will be playable on the Switch too, which will be the first time in a very long time.
Yep.
There's a very long time since we've gotten a Call of Duty on the Switch, on Nintendo just in general. A lot of them used to come out with the Wii, and then was it the first Switch? No, I don't think. Did they even bother with the first Switch? I don't even remember. But I remember seeing it on the Wii at some point. There was a couple in there.
My memory serves me that there really isn't any Call of Duty this past generation on Switch. But anyway, but Switch 2,
I
you
can't
make
remember.
a good point.
Either way, it's coming out for the Switch 2 as well. So now the thing is, from what we understand, the Switch 2 is nowhere near the power of these current gen consoles, PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles. So that being the case, it's kind of dummied down anyway. If that is indeed going to continue moving forward, then what is the point of making a full next generation? Or do you just make a next generation only and then just dumb down one version for the Switch 2, just ever so slightly? But then at that point, if you've dumbed it, now here's the other thing. If you've already dumbed down a version slightly for the Switch 2, why not just keep it accessible for all the millions of people that are still playing on the PS4 and the Xbox One?
There you go. That's the question.
So it's a conundrum. There's you know what I'm saying?
It's
a double-edged sword. You can't win.
Yeah, you're leaving money on the table.
You're leaving money on the table. So it's like, if you're going to make a dumbed down version for the Switch 2 anyhow, why not just keep it accessible for the tens of millions that are still playing on the Xbox One and PS4? And you make a ton of money. There is no upside to them. And right now, to me, there is no upside to them cutting it off. I really don't see the point of it, because Call of Duty just continuously can get away with this multi-generational thing because it is what it is. But the thing is, look at the differences in the quality. You can have the one on the Series X and the PS5 look fantastic, and then you can have a version which has less attractive qualities on, let's say, the PS4 and the Xbox One. But then you have a PS5 Pro, which they did even more enhancements for. Yeah. So you could continue to do that. It's based on the hardware you purchased. This is not anything new. I mean, this isn't revolutionary what we're talking about. It's just common sense. We all know that. So I think that there's no need to do it. I mean, if it gets to a point where it absolutely is impossible to utilize assets they'll be able to use on a PS4 and Xbox One, then obviously then you're going to have to cut it off because of technical limitations. But right now, I don't see it.
I think that's what is happening. You nailed it, Mag, because the quotes here say it'll have a traditional UI like the older games, more traditional than Black Ops 6. Says the engine is being overhauled to address Modern Warfare 2's problems like visual clutter, and it's being developed on the dev kits for the next Xbox. So they must be doing something to kind of modernize the game and make it look better. And that cannot be done on a PS4 and Xbox One. But I am going to predict that there are subtleties in the Nintendo Switch 2, which is weird. In like a month from now, we'll get that reveal. I think there's going to be software and hardware subtleties that make the Switch 2 more capable for modern games than we expected.
Sure. So right? Maybe just do a slight. So maybe just remove some assets from the current gen consoles and then have it operate on the Switch 2.
Yeah, maybe there's
even if you just, you know what I mean? Even if you just shave back a few features, right?
Yeah.
Take the resolution down ever so slightly. Take the, you know what I mean? Like things like that. Be able to be able to run smoothly on that system. I don't see that being a problem. It's going to be more powerful than the last generation consoles, right? Like the Switch 2 is more powerful than the PS4 and the Xbox One, but it's nowhere near as powerful as the new consoles are now.
No, right? and I know that Digital Foundry said it's not as capable as a PS4 Pro, but I mean, they haven't seen everything yet. There must be something in there paired with the AI upscaling like DLSS that's just going to, like you can do this. This can work. I don't think it's going to be amazing. I just think it's going to be like this can work. Like games can be put on here. Traditional or modern games can be put on this Nintendo Switch 2. Right. crazy to think that they have to leave behind. There's probably 40 million people still playing on an Xbox One generation console.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you bother when they see those numbers? Like maybe they have a magic number, right? Maybe if they have a magic number of saying, okay, we currently have, excuse me, let's say you still have, I don't know, how many did you say on Xbox One?
I would say there's probably 30 or 40 million people still playing on an Xbox. That's a wild guess, because I think there's probably 50, 60 million people still playing on a PS4 original Slim or Pro.
You're talking like upwards of 80 million people are still actively playing on those consoles.
Yeah, and with 2 or 3 million people across. Yeah, and with 2 or 3 million of those across all those consoles that are like definitely playing Call of Duty on their old console. And I'm just making up numbers.
You can't.
I'm just making up numbers, fine. But it couldn't. Maybe it's not that far off, but you know,
Colt, you can't cut them off, man. You can't cut that off. That is a massive amount of revenue that you're just walking away from. I would never do it. And the thing is, you would have to get to a point where it's literally impossible. But the thing is, look at PCs. Everybody forgets about PC. You know, not everybody has a 5090. Okay, there's the broad spectrum of power that goes into a PC are quite, you know, it's quite wide. And as a result of that, a lot of games are able to fit into all those things to varying degrees of success. You obviously have to adjust, you know, to certain things to be able to run the game or whatever, lower the resolution, do this, lower the frame rate, whatever you got to do, right?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So that can happen. But the thing is, yes, it would have to get to a point where it would be physically impossible to be able to run a Call of Duty game on that old hardware, and you kind of force people up. But the thing is, that's a lot of people still active on those consoles. Why would you even walk away from that? And the thing is, Warzone is still doing big numbers or whatever, but
yeah,
you know, you're not going to leave just 80 million people to just sit there and just play Warzone, because I would imagine a lot of people that are still on those old consoles, they're on those old consoles because they're probably, a lot of them are probably still playing Fortnite and Call of Duty.
Like
right?
you said, that's where most people are.
It's just a shooter box. It's just a shooter box for them.
Magnum says in the chat, this gen isn't much different than last gen, so why cut it off? I mostly agree with that, but if you're on an Xbox Series S, you have far more computing power than a PS4 or an Xbox One, like 2 times
by the way,
more. So
we're specifically talking about Call of Duty, by the way. We're not talking about every game out there. Yeah. There are games that are just will not be able to function on that old hardware that are coming out now. There's no way that you'd be able to realize certain games, and you look at it and you're like Fable, for example, if you want to talk about that, or maybe Ghost of Yotai. Those are games that would probably not be able to run on a PS4 and Xbox One, right? And then you would require that new. But Call of Duty,
I would say Ghost of Yotai would probably play on a PS4, but not Fable, that's fully built in Forza Tech engine for modern hardware. You know, like Ghost of Yotai comes from the DNA of a PS4 game. And excuse me, I don't think making a game that only plays on next generation hardware isn't always the best choice. The best choice is to make sure you have a really good game, and a game like Tsushima evolving to Yotai, it doesn't matter what it runs on. Like, that's probably going to be a really great game. And will it have cross-generation release? Probably not.
I'm literally checking right now.
I think it's only now it's for PS5, but like with Spider-Man 2, they can do things like, we can now do this, and if we ran on old hardware, it might just not be as nice. So why even bother? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it right now, so I'm going to check it out, see what's going on here. I don't see anything official.
My prediction is they're only releasing Ghost of Yotai on PS5, right? That's your prediction?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be next gen only, but I'm trying to figure it out here, but I'm not getting solid answers.
It's funny that we're like almost 5 years in, and we still have to say if it's next gen or not. So
I know, but we always do that though. Like, we always say next gen until the next gen. So anyways, back to this console. Let's talk about this console briefly.
Yeah, LA Chargers.
I don't think it's coming out next year.
No, we don't. I'll get to that. The LA Chargers with the $2 super chat says, how could you accuse me of such a good thing? Good memory. It was him. It was him. I knew I remembered.
You are correct.
Yes. And it was like, that was like almost 3 years ago. But yeah, that's pretty hilarious. Now I'll have to go back. Somebody in the comments could be like, dude, you said when you said, yeah, whatever it is, it must phonetically in Spanish, it must say something funny. But how white I talk, like there's no way that it could even sound like anything. I'm so awful. My family does Duolingo. My family is pretty good with Spanish. I'm awful. Cuatro Cinco. There you go. That's all I have. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to channel and early access, Solotech. We appreciate you, and it was nice meeting you in June. Hopefully, we get to see you again. All right, let's talk about this new console. Mag says it's not 2026.
No,
I would say, so. Now it's not 2026. And just months ago, Mag, it was just in January. Ghost of Hope leaked. It was January 4th or 5th, because about January 5th I made the video. He leaked that the new console had a project name and that it was being planned and they were set for 2026. And I had heard that last year. So I made a video on that. And then about a month later, I started to hear, hey, I got bad news for you. I'm like, what? Console's not 2026. They're actually pushing for 27. That's where they want to land. I'm like, crap, because I want to see what they're making. So what do you think, Mag, besides not 2026?
I don't think. Now, the thing is, what we had originally heard way back when, as things change over time, folks, nothing is in concrete, right? So it's just the way it is. I still don't buy that it's coming out in 2026, but what we did hear is that a handheld of sorts, and what the Surface team was working on was coming out 2026, and then an actual next-gen console piece of hardware would be coming out after that. I know there's a lot of people out there saying they're even doubting that there's even going to be a next-gen hardware. I'm still saying yes, because they could do it without a loss. Then they will do it, because there's no point in not doing it if you're not going to do it at a loss. So it's going to be expensive, and whatever else, it's going to be more niche, but it will be available. So, but if you can't afford it, there's no problem with that either. There are other avenues and ways you'll be able to access and whatever. So the thing is, we did hear about that. Now, the other one that we heard about, Project Brooklyn, that's the first time I mentioned that out loud. But Project Brooklyn was the next piece of hardware to come out.
That
now
was
I'm not
in the 2022
sure.
documents as well that leaked in 2023. The name
Right.
Project Brooklyn.
Project Brooklyn, and that
Yeah.
that apparently is the next piece of hardware to come out for Xbox specifically. Now, I don't know about that anymore. I could reach out and talk to some people, but the hardware side of things, I haven't really been interested in right now, and I haven't really been talking about it with some of the people I talk to. And the reason why is because right now we're going to get inundated with a whole ton of games that I actually been just focusing on the games. I've just been like, I don't really care about the hardware. I got great hardware right now. So I'm fine. I got a Series X and I got a PS5 Pro. I'm laughing. Now give me the software. So like I've been focusing on the software. I haven't been thinking ahead of hardware. So I haven't bothered asking my people, but I will ask now and see if I can shake something loose and find out what the hell's going on out there. Because I still are they going to bother with this handheld hybrid plug-in? What we originally heard about, like Switch style. You know what I mean? Or is it going to be a ROG Ally / Steam Deck thing for $700 that no one's going to buy?
Let me ask you
what
this.
Is it going to be? Like, what is it going to be?
I haven't used this thing in like 3 weeks. Let me ask you this, Mag.
Sure.
You haven't bought a ROG Ally or a Steam Deck.
No, I have no interest.
Would you buy something like this if it had an Xbox logo on it?
But no. I would if it was appropriately priced, but it won't be. So it's going to be expensive.
What if it was like this, but it had an Xbox like power button, like right here or something?
No, it'd be cool. But I got a console right here. Why do I need it? Why do I need a $700, $800 handheld?
What if it had an Xbox power button, and when you turn it on, it has your Xbox dashboard as you see it now. The
That's fair.
2018 or whatever dashboard right here. Picture that. It's your dashboard. Logs in. It says, I am Meg. What if you go to library and all of your console games are there to install natively?
Wonderful.
Would audience, would you want to buy that? What if it was like $700? Like, would you want? I know everyone's like, Xbox handheld. Virginity is cool.
I love that. I love that Instagram picture video.
Like, would you want something like that? Because I have this, but none of my console games, unless they're Play Anywhere, they're not here. Would you guys want that? I'm doing the Dreamcast guy thing. I'm like,
yeah, the thing is, it's not about the product. It really is not about the product. I would be happy with that product. All those features that you mentioned, wonderful features, great. I don't see the prudency in that for me personally. What the hell is that, Colteastwood?
You need to learn what this is. Chat, first one in the chat to write what this is amazing. What is this? What is this?
I don't know.
It will take about 10 seconds for the chat to start showing up when they see me.
Magnum, knock it off. I did buy a PS Portal. You know why? Because it was under $200. But if I have an $800 console, and sorry, $800, I should specify $700 Canadian, because I deal with Canadian prices. I have a $700 Canadian Xbox right here. Why would I buy a $700 handheld when barely the only 99.9% of the time I'm gaming here in this very chair? So you know what I mean? Like, I don't see the need for that for me personally. And if it doesn't offer more technology or have more hardware, you know what I mean, that pushes the tech forward, then I don't see the need for it. Taco Chef Forever is listening to us right now.
Oh, wait. Is he? Taco Chef Forever. I was going to send you a voice memo on Xbox Live because I was in the middle of playing a game and Taco Chef Forever messaged me and said, "I appreciate you, Colt." Like a voice memo. I was like, "You're here. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I didn't get. I'm gonna need to get on Xbox because right there I can do it with the headset. And I want to write you back. Thank you so much for that voice message.
Oh, dude,
that's so cool. Thank you.
It's awesome, man. Like when we do YouTube, I have the YouTube chat on another screen, and on another screen I have the Xbox Live on the going as well. So people message me on Xbox Live, and what I don't get many people messaging me on PlayStation, but on Xbox I do.
Only station.
I have a lot of friends there, but not a lot of people message me there. He just he sent me a message right now. He goes, "I appreciate you and Colt every day." Thank you, dude. We really appreciate that,
awesome.
Man. But anyways, the console, I don't see the prudency in me buying another $700 console that doesn't offer me more power or more tech for something that I can play literally in this chair.
I mean, I don't
know what I'm saying. Like, I don't get not for me. It's not for me. How about I just say that?
You don't travel, like you don't have a commute where you're sitting on a bus. No. You don't go on a plane as often, but I have been, since I've been traveling more and going to these trips, like it's helped. But I don't know. I don't even know what I was going to say there, but Mag Station.
I don't really travel.
I saw an ad on Instagram for like it was like a leather ball with a stick on it, and you put it on your lap and you mount the handheld to it. Right. This guy's like, when I'm sitting on the couch playing my hand, like it's so serious, my arms get tired holding it. And I'm like, yeah, because those things aren't light. And so you put this ball on your lap and it holds this thing up for you, and it looks absolutely ridiculous. It looks like a freaking.
You've got to be a next level nerd. Like, I mean, like we're all nerds here and varying degrees of nerddom. That's a next level of nerd that cannot be achieved, where you buy a freaking ball to put on your lap so you can play a handheld because it's too heavy for you.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm sure it's comfortable, but yeah.
Just stop. Just stop. That's nonsense. That is nonsense. It's funny though. It's kind of funny. It's funny.
Oh, it looks like Machine XP saw the ad for it. Yeah, it's just super weird, but
I could see that Xbox doing this next year for more accessibility to their product. I don't see why they wouldn't do it. And
you mean somebody else making a handheld,
or maybe in conjunction with somebody else? I could see that, but like it's an avenue for people to get in there if they want to. You can have tech enthusiasts who'll buy it, and then you'll have casuals who may be like, you know what, this is kind of what I want to do. But the pricing is going to be a key factor to all this.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it would be cool if like if a handheld company like Asus or something like made a Xbox certified device. Because like I've said on the show many times, I'm not really big on the handhelds, but having a handheld that has all the Xbox console games plus everything PC offers, it already does more than that one right there.
I have a quick question, though.
Yeah.
I have a quick question before we wrap this topic up here. My question is this. What about your third-party games that have to have permission from like the third-party developers and studios and everything else to be able to, like, let's say stream? If you know what I mean, like if you don't have them natively on that device, you're gonna have to be using some form of a cloud service. Then you need permission for that, do you not?
Yeah, I think that the native.
How does that work?
If this handheld has an Xbox certification on it, that it passes all the loops, the loopholes. Yeah, the loopholes where they can't say anything, like Capcom can't say you can't play Monster Hunter Wilds on that thing because it's not an Xbox. Because Xbox go, yes, it is. They're like, whatever the verbiage is that considers it an Xbox, that it would have to, like, it obviously must be passing that, and that could be something. I could see seeing something like that by this holiday. I don't know if it's something a lot of people want to jump on, but I also think Xbox's official handheld is a couple years away, maybe 3 years away. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Maverick in the chat, he's saying, Mag, you have a PlayStation Portal that's basically a watered-down Xbox handheld. Yes, I know. That's what I said. Yeah. I was saying fundamentally, I think it's a good idea to do an Xbox handheld. I just don't want to pay $700 for it.
Yeah.
I paid less than $200 for the Portal, is what I'm getting at, right? So
which
that's
is an insane value too.
It's just something I can stomach a couple of $100 and be like, all right, I can fart around with it. My wife takes it to work. Actually, I see some people talk about it. It works magnificently. And even like when I was up north, I brought it with me just to fart around with it for a little bit. And they gave away Topspin 2K25, the tennis game. They gave it away for free on PS Plus or whatever. So my cousin had it, and he was farting around with it on the couch playing tennis for like an hour. Flawless.
You sound like my dad, farting around.
Flawless.
Farting around and lollygagging. Were you doing both of those?
Yeah. And so like we were up north, basically snowed in, and then in the daytime, and we weren't drinking at that time in the day. But like, yeah, and he was playing flawlessly up there in the middle, way up north in the thing, and no lag, no anything, no problems. I think that might be an option for Xbox to do that and like slightly add more integration as time goes on, or just do it right away. Have cloud integration, have Game Pass on there. As long as you're a subscriber to Game Pass, you can play all your Game Pass games on it. Sell it for $1.99. And then you could be like, all right, now that's something I could stomach for that price. But if you're going to start making
$199 American audience when he said $1.99.
Yeah. Sorry.
Over there, the Canadian dollar is worth 100.
Yeah, no, it's not doing hot right now. But either way, if you start getting into this ROG Allies and you start getting into the Steam Decks and this and that, that's for tech enthusiasts and a very niche audience, because there is a price barrier there. So you have to be very careful of how they do this and what they're going to do. So I think that I think there are long discussions about this handheld and what market they're trying to attract with this thing. Right, so it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. I think they should go the more casual approach and offer accessibility as opposed to power, and you know what I mean, that kind of thing.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe
I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe a third-party handheld that's Xbox certified is more powerful and more expensive, and then Xbox offers a compromised, affordable handheld. But I don't know. I'm with you, Meg. I think Xbox needs to make their console and their handheld really powerful and capable, and so they're not losing money on it. I think it's one of the Xbox's problems. More than spending $80 billion on ABK, Mag. I think their major problem was they couldn't sell enough consoles when it mattered, and they never crossed into the profit margin. Like PlayStation, PS5, and Xbox Series X are not that different. The problem was PS5 sold double the time, or half the time, and they were in profit margin territory so much earlier. Xbox was totally screwed. They were losing money because they never got up over that hump. But
I500F in the chat, he says 500 Canadian is my cutoff. And if you think about that, I'll just call you 500. If you think about that, that's only $299 American.
That's really cheap.
So you think about that, you look at that, like $299 American is 500 Canadian, basically, right? Give or take couple of bucks. But like it's expensive, like, you know what I mean? So like it's going to be a tough sell, and they're done losing money. So we already know that they're done losing money on hardware, and they're not looking to make a massive profit. They're just done losing money. So even if they break even, to them it's a wash. You know what I'm saying? It's just a wash at that point. So I don't know, man. It's a tough proposition, and it's a tough position to be in. And I wouldn't want to be the one to make that final decision. But if you were to just ask me my personal opinion, you can disagree with me, everybody, chat. Otherwise, I think they should make a more casual portal style handheld that you could be able to through cloud and whatnot be able to either stream directly from your Xbox or the cloud integration. But Game Pass has got to be there. Yeah, that's it. And then anything other than that, your third-party games and any other games, you'll have to go home and play them, and just sell it for $1.99 and just call it a day. I think that would be the only option. If you start getting it to $700, $800, $900 handhelds, people are not going to buy it. I mean, there will be people that will buy it, but it's it's such a small community.
I put up a poll that says, "What's your handheld price limit?" And it's like split evenly across the board. 800, 600, 500, 300. And that's in US. And if you're Canadian or Australian, you can do the difference maybe in your head. Sorry that I can't do that universally, but if you, I'm sure you're used to looking at US prices. If you can kind of make that translation in your head.
Yeah. Like when we do all these talking on these shows, we obviously, I'm well aware that the majority of our viewers are from the United States. So I just use American prices. Obviously, like a game is $70 for you guys. They're $105 for us in Canada, right? So I'm not going to say 105. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm looking at this poll. It's like I wouldn't want to spend another $800. I think I spent $800 on my ROG Ally plus the case.
You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I'm like
$800 US.
I just couldn't do that again. But the problem with this Asus ROG Ally is amazing, but my console games, like I can't load up one of my random games and play it. Like I have to go buy it again and start over from scratch, you know? Like if I want to go take a trip, I might be taking a trip soon here, a couple trips. If I want to like play some game from my Xbox library, I can't do that. I have to go buy the game again. Or I have
you know, the thing is, when you're on the road for that brief period of time, then just play a game that you were playing on Game Pass. Your progress and everything will be there and all that stuff. So for the 2-3 days that you're traveling or the 4 days that you're traveling, well, you know what? Now you're just going to have to play something that was on Game Pass. If that's what you want to, you know what I mean? And then when you get home, you're just going to have to suck it up and you'll have to play the third-party games at your house.
They also
if you're on the road, make it, you know what I mean? Say, be like, I'm playing Indy Jones while I'm traveling. Or whatever.
The online requirement is such a major problem that needs to go away, especially for handhelds and cloud, because before I go to the airport or get onto a plane, I have to make sure that I've set Steam to offline mode, or else it will not let me launch a game until I've been connected to the internet. As far as I'm doing this correctly, Meg, I have to be connected to the internet, make sure that I've gone into offline mode before I go onto a plane and lose an internet connection. Otherwise, I can't play those games. And Xbox is the same way. There's a lot of times you need to be connected just to the network to access, but that stuff that barrier needs to go away. You should be able to, like, I own all these games, they're installed. It's like, oh, looks like you're offline. Yep, thanks for reminding me. Let me play my game. That's major problems that a lot of people have been fighting for. I didn't cover this. Holy crap, I got to cover this real quick. Activision, oh crap, I deleted it. Activision is working on a brand new AAA IP. It's an open world action adventure game. I just deleted the notes. Let me see if I can undo it. Probably not. Nope. And I'm going to lose my other stuff. It was shared on a LinkedIn that a new AAA action adventure open world game is being developed for Xbox Game Studios. It's in early development, so it's something we might see at the end of the generation or next generation. But Mag and I were talking before the show that tomorrow, you and I think there's going to be a shadow drop of a game into hopefully Game Pass, but hopefully just shadow dropped on Xbox and PlayStation.
Well, I mean, I did 2 videos about it. I did an original video about when I first heard about it. Then I did a second video when I got some more information on it. And then that was coupled with the God of War remaster situation coming up. So there's a couple announcements coming up in March. We are referring to obviously the Tony Hawk situation. And if you look back, and I think, well, I did it in my video. I zoomed in on the actual shot in one of the maps of Call of Duty when you're going around on the new season. As you're going through, you get into a skate shop. There's an actual skate shop there. And if you look up on the wall, in the Tony Hawk font and the Tony Hawk insignia, it says 3/4/25. Right, so that is indeed tomorrow. Now, Colt is thinking. This is where we stand on different sides of the fence here. Colt is thinking there's a possibility of maybe a shadow drop. I'm just thinking it's going to be an announcement because I think they're going to actually package and sell this game for full price, like they did with Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Because Tony Hawk 1 and 2, when it was done, was released at full price, and it sold incredibly well. So I think they're going to sell at full price, but I think this is an announcement. But I could be absolutely wrong. You know, I could be wrong. It could be a shadow drop, but I don't know. I think it's going to be an announcement, and I think they're going to charge full price for it to purchase, and then I think they go drop it on Game Pass Ultimate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it'll be available on Game Pass Ultimate, but you could buy it elsewhere. Sort of how, you know, like Ninja Gaiden. Right? Ninja Gaiden got announced for Game Pass, but you can still buy it on PlayStation and PC. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you have Game Pass or PC Game Pass. But yeah, I think it'll be the same thing. And I just don't know when. I haven't heard anything beyond that. I didn't get any word about a release date or anything else like that. So let's see, because you know what? Tomorrow we'll find out.
Tomorrow, yeah, we don't have to wait much longer. I guess more keen eyes than I. Keen eyes than I are thinking. They're really putting a lot of MacGuffin. That's the right word for that, right? No, not MacGuffin.
For what? Sorry, I was reading the chat.
They're putting a lot of like energy into this reveal for March 4th, 2025. A lot of people are thinking this has to be something bigger than hey, here's what it looks like, and you get to play it this fall. When I say it out loud, I think I'm more with you than a shadow drop. That it makes more sense to hype this game up tomorrow, show people a little bit of what it looks like, show it one more time, maybe at Showcase or just
sell it.
Yeah, sell it in September or something.
And then sell it. It'll be Game Pass, PS5, PS5 Pro, maybe even the Switch too.
Oh yeah, because that will be
even
a thing.
The Switch too.
Maybe
right, and then PC. And so then I think you launch it like midsummer, let's say July or something, when there's not much going on. You drop it somewhere in July. I could see that absolutely happening. But I could see them also dropping it on Game Pass. So if you're a Game Pass subscriber, great. You get to have it. It's right then and there.
I don't know if they would drop it on Game Pass. I'm afraid that. I mean, they should. I think they get a lot of blowback.
Yeah. That if they released an Activision game that they now own that doesn't show up on Game Pass, I don't think. They've already dealt with enough crap this generation, all self-inflicted. I don't think they need to add more self-inflicted injury. Bad. You know what I mean? I don't think they need to add so much more. If it's coming out, well, not if it is coming out, it'll come out on Game Pass. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that would be insane. I can't believe I said that.
Yeah, Maverick's right. It's gonna be a trailer. I think it's gonna be a trailer.
Let's see. Okay. Somebody just DM me some inside stuff, but I'll have to save it. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat, thank you so much for the Australian 10. Says, an apology for all my stupid comments today. We're all stupid. We all say dumb things all the time.
My comments are 99% stupid and 1% like intelligent, so don't worry about it.
I mean, we just wasted 2 hours of your time today, and yeah, the apology's all ours. Machine XP, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, Xbox partner with the Logitech xCloud. That is an equivalent to the Portal and has the native Xbox app. Cloud, stream, remote play, Steam remote, and PS or PlayStation and PC. Yes, I have the Logitech over there. I bought it for about $200. It has the native Xbox app. I can sit in my other room, or I can be on the internet on Wi-Fi and access my console games through cloud. Yes. So that's partially, I think the Portal is much better than the Logitech xCloud. It's just a way better piece of kit. And it surprised everybody because when it first came out, everyone laughed at it. And then the last laugh came to PlayStation because the Portal is actually really good and sold really, really well. So
still selling incredibly well.
Yeah.
It's still the number one accessory sold this generation so far. So I was shocked by that too. I didn't think it was going to do well, but man, people a lot of it's got to do with, first of all, it's well made, well built. The screen is gorgeous, and the quality, the price is a big factor.
And
a lot of that has got to do with it. That price point is more important than people think, man.
And the ergonomics of it has, if you're a PlayStation, well, I mean, I like the PlayStation DualSense 5. It has that. And when I play the ROG Ally, when you play a game, sorry, I'll do the Dreamcast
I haven't played
guy.
a ROG Ally.
When you play a game, you're like this. When I play a ROG Ally, I feel like I'm this. It almost feels like, oh my gosh, it's too far apart. That kind of reminds me of the Fruit of the Loom commercials. Remember those? We were so old. This has been Ecstasy Podcast episode 190. Thank you guys so much for staying here with us. We appreciate our sponsor, 4XP Gaming. Check them out. They're in the description. Ecstasy 2025 is the code to get you 20% off. Put some powder in your water. Stop drinking regular water. No, I'm just kidding. Drink some 4XP. Have a great taste and energize yourself to play games. We appreciate them. Go check out their site. Meg, thank you so much for being on the show. What a great time we've had. Tell everybody what you're doing on the channel. And I've got your channel in the description. I had to put that in retrograde last week, but tell it.
Well, that's wonderful to hear.
Tell the five brothers.
Well, I'm going to be streaming a few times this week, maybe even more. I'm going to ponder overnight. I'm going to sleep on it and ponder if I'm going to actually add to the mix this Carmen Sandiego. And I think that'd be a lot of fun to do with the community, have some fun with that. So I might be doing that. Either way, I'll be streaming and trying to wrap up Space Marines 2. I'll be with my wife. I'll be playing It Takes Two with my son. And then if any news comes out or anything happens, then I'll be dropping my solo videos as I usually do. And like I said, they're very bite-sized. They're usually about 5 to 7 minutes, 8 minutes long. And it's just giving my thoughts and opinions and stuff out there. So, go check it out, The Mag Show. You'll find me there, the descriptions and the details. And usually Donnie's really awesome. Yeah, there it is. And Happy Bomb, there it is. Thank you, Happy Bomb. And then they usually drop my link in there and go check it out. Crossed 1.12 subs now.
Nice.
So, slowly climbing the ranks there. So I'm excited. And then, I just need those viewers show up, and I can take it to the next level, man. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, I'm always busy on the channel, very active, and I'm grinding really hard on there. And in the background, I'm also working on some new equipment as well, slowly but surely, adding new equipment to the mix. So new mics are coming. And then I got a new mixer board and stuff that's going to be coming, and that's all part of the thing. I'm just doing this organically, very slowly, and just sort of
good.
You know what I mean? Like building up the quality and whatever else. And next thing will be eventually a new PC, that kind of thing. And that all takes time, but
that's the way to do it, because I hope I don't mess anything up. Game Seeker sent me this keyboard. Did I show you this thing?
Wild. Yeah, you did last week. Yeah, that was wild.
And I ordered. Such a dork. I made a custom mouse pad. Is that in the shot?
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's got like all the IPs from Xbox and Activision and Bethesda.
Wow.
And I was trying to like put up a graphic I made with my logo, so I had a mouse pad for that. And I was like, I couldn't find anything I liked that would fit in landscape form. That was it. Hold on, everything's still working here? Just bumped something. Yeah, I hit a bunch of keys. Who knows what the heck? I would have launched a nuke code or something. But just slowly but surely, like kind of build up stuff and get your space the way you like it. I added the lamps and everything, so I'm kind of getting used to that. But it's happy times.
Yeah. My room and everything is great. I'm happy with everything. I'm just working on the equipment, but the equipment takes time, understanding of what it is. I'm not really a tech guy, so I got my brother helping me out. I got Cold help me out with different things where we have discussions and talks about that stuff, and I'm slowly learning and understanding how this all works. And then just going from there, man. It's tough. It's like, you know what I mean? So I'm learning as I go, and I'm really enjoying the process and whatever else. But yeah, it's a lot. But either way. Sorry, I wanted to say hi. I just wanted to say thank you to the chat tonight. You guys are amazing as always. So it's great to see everybody every single week. Just amazing. You guys are like family to us, man. So we appreciate everyone who comes out. So
yeah, we do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Who was asking me? You guys didn't see the bottom. I didn't put the whole thing, but I've got my logo on the bottom, the Colteastwood banner at the bottom. I didn't put it up high enough, but I made it.
No, I saw it.
I was looking at the. Because I have my deal cropped here. I think I'm trying to find the link to it, but I just went to a random site and looked at them, and they looked like a really good site, and they shipped it in like a week and a half. And I made the graphic in 4K, so when I put it in there, it was at high quality. And Freaking looks amazing. Right. But what was I going to say? Is this still messed up? Yeah, hold on.
No, oh.
Yeah, it is. I bumped something. Hold on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bumped. Hold on, how to go back to this. You're not on the screen. Hold on a second. Where is this? Back here. There we go. One more button push. Thank you. Sorry about that. I knew I'd mess something up when I was pushing buttons. You were like they're small on the bottom. I did the Gaming Weekly news video last week on Friday, and it was one of the slowest viewed videos in a long time because I covered the Fable delay, which we didn't even bother to talk about today, and the Warner Brothers closures. And it's just sometimes stuff that happens in the gaming news is not fun. So everybody cross your fingers for a really great news week so we can be excited and talk about what we love in the next videos for Mag and I and the podcast. We appreciate you guys. Yeah. Cole almost leaked the Phil Spencer DMs. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate you guys. We're going to get out of here. Man. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure you sub to Mag, sub to me if you haven't, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, man. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you guys next Monday.
We'll see you. Do.